The city of brotherly love, a city with a rising baseball team, and the Ben Franklin Bridge, especially though this baseball team playing so well when they're in their historic hometown. You know, Rocky's on Facebook, and we're right there with him. This is MLB Live on Facebook Watch in Pennsylvania this afternoon for the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Philadelphia Phillies at Citizens Bank Park. And welcome inside, everyone, to watch two of the best teams in the National League right now. I'm Scott Braun, and I'll be joined by a team of three more coming very soon. And we're talking to you throughout the game, of course, and that includes questions that you have for coaches and for players. On our guest list this afternoon, Jake Arrieta and Patrick Corbin, two of the finest pitchers in the National League. We'll talk to them during the game. If you have questions for them, let us know, and we will relay those questions right to the players. Here's what else you're working with when it comes to a Facebook broadcast. We are communicating with you throughout the game. That includes questions, comments. Shoot them over to us. We will answer as many as possible. Watch the game with us, and we'll be checking out the comments as we're doing that. If you want to watch this game just with your respective Diamondback fans or just in the Phillies fan group, you can do that. Also, record your videos, take pictures of where you're watching the game. We'll show as much as we can on the broadcast. And lastly, if you want to remove comments and reactions that are popping up on the screen, if you're on your mobile device, just swipe right. And if you're on your computer, just hit the quiet mode button. It's that simple. We also bring you analysis catered to each side of the matchup with our broadcast team. Let's introduce the squad. First, representing the Diamondbacks' perspective, 11 years in baseball, 4 of those seasons in Arizona's outfield from 06 through 09. The walls at the ballparks took a beating when he was playing, everything 120%. Eric Burns. And your Phillies take 7 years of catching in the bigs with the Padres, the Mariners, and the White Sox. He actually never got to play for his favorite team growing up, but he calls games for the Phillies now. Ben Davis grew up near Veterans Stadium, and he is on the Phillies broadcast. You might know him well, and he knows this team left and right. Tell him, Ben.
They were my team growing up.
That's right. So you'll hear from Ben on the Phillies throughout the game. Eric is talking Diamondbacks, including an offense that features star power.
Well, it does, and it starts with Paul Goldschmidt. We had a chance to sit down with Torey Lovello this morning, and basically what he said is, this is our guy. This is the face of the franchise. Everything starts and goes with Paul Goldschmidt. He started off a little bit slow this year, but look at the numbers. He's already come back, has over a 500 slugging percentage. And the other guy's A.J. Pollock, the kid from University of Notre Dame. I mean, I've been obsessed with him for some time now. He's got power, he's got speed, he's got the ability to hit. A complete and total 5-tool player is awesome in the outfield as well.
And this team can pitch. Number 1 in the National League in ERA right now, and number 2 in that category, surprisingly, is the Philadelphia Phillies. How do they look?
It is a very pleasant surprise for the Philadelphia Phillies, and the fact that starting rotation, Aaron Nola. We knew Aaron Nola was going to be here, but who else other than Aaron Nola is going to pitch? Well, they go out and get Jake Arrieta, and he has been awesome, absolutely awesome. And I think some of the younger guys are starting to feed off what Jake has done. Nick Pivetta has been great. Ben Lively, who's thrown today, has been great. Vince Velasquez. Take a look at the first 5 starts. The starting pitchers were not getting deep into ball games, but the last 18, they've been going deeper into ball games, saving that bullpen, and they have been a very pleasant surprise for the Philadelphia Phillies.
Those first 5, they won 1 game, and then since then, they are 14-4. This is the proof, which includes coming off a weekend series sweep against the Pittsburgh Pirates. They took all 4 games and now trying to take the rubber match here against the Diamondbacks. Arizona is the best team in the National League right now, led by Paul Goldschmidt. 16 wins and 7 losses. Eric, run through that lineup for us.
Well, you go ahead and start off with David Peralta in left field, followed with Gerard Dyson playing right field. Paul Goldschmidt, talked about him in the open. At first base, he is the man. A.J. Pollock, the center fielder. Daniel Descalso went to the greatest high school in the history of high schools, St. Francis, Mountain View, California. That's right. I think someone else in this booth went there as well. Chris Owings is playing second base today. Alex Avila, the catcher behind the plate. I had a nasty collision with him about 2010. Nick Ahmed, the shortstop, and we got Matt Cook, the right-handed pitcher, who has thrown the ball pretty well so far this season for the Diamondbacks, and filling in for Taijuan Walker.
That's right. He took his place in the rotation. We'll see how long that lasts. Ben Lively on the mound for Philadelphia, and we spoke to Gabe Kapler this morning about the starter for the Phillies. They keep reminding him about his strikeout totals, Ben.
They're trying to get it up. He's not per se a strikeout pitcher. He does pitch to contact, but he has the ability, despite not being overpowering, to be able to throw it by you. He can climb the ladder at times.
Look at the powder blues. Let's just talk about what really matters right now. The Phillies unis, guys. How, and this is my first question. I mean, we're supposed to get interactive today. Phillies fans, I mean, can we bring the powder blues back, please? Full time, Ben, why not?
Every Thursday day game, that's what they're sporting.
I need it every night.
There are a ton of that jersey in this ballpark every night with a 20 on it. Michael Jack Schmidt, best Philly of all time, best third baseman of all time. No one wore it better than Schmitty.
And you work with him sometimes on the weekend.
Weekends with Schmidt we have, yeah. And it's growing up here. The first time I worked with him, a buddy of mine sent me a text. He goes, dude, that's Michael Blanken Schmidt. I said, I know. It never gets old. It never gets old, and he's great with us.
We're going to talk uniforms later on in the broadcast. We'll ask for your favorites. Right now, we're asking who gets the first hit of the game. I also have our first question coming in, and it's a good one from Philip, who said, is Andrew Knapp playing every day now for the Phillies, Ben?
No, they're platooning. They are platooning. Obviously Cook is a righty on the mound. Jorge Alfaro's been scuffling. Make no bones about it. The strikeouts are up, and just giving Napper another day.
David Peralta will start things off for the Diamondbacks. 2 for his last 16.
Still hitting .304 in the year. A couple homers, 12 steaks, Scotty. But of course, you want to point out that he's 2 for his past 16.
Just reporting the facts. I'm the messenger, Burnsy.
Let's celebrate him, please.
And the first pitch from Ben Lively fired in for a strike, and we're underway at Citizens Bank Park. Gorgeous afternoon for baseball. Ooh. And Peralta scorches that to right field. It gets through the hole, and he's a leadoff base runner for Arizona. And this is how the Phillies set up defensively.
Well, Carlos Santana has been very good at first base. He's been a big sign, obviously, for the Philadelphia Phillies. Cesar at second base, mostly underrated. J.P. Crawford at short. Maikel Franco smooth fielding third base. And Andrew Knapp behind the dish. Odubel in center. He can have some issues out there, but overall pretty good. Aaron Altherr is graceful as anybody. And Rhys Hoskins, well, they just need his bat in the lineup more than they need him in left.
And Jarrod Dyson, speedy number 2 hitter. 2 for 6 with a home run in this series.
Burns, he dropped down a bunt last night with 1 out. Well, sorry, no outs. Bases loaded, dropped down a bunt. Arrieta got it and threw it to Knapp for a 1-2 put out. How about that?
Yeah, I didn't love it.
Oh. And he connects to deep right field. Jarrod Dyson muscles up for a 2-run home run. His second of the series. It's 2-0 Diamondbacks.
NBHD. Never bunt, hit dingers. Simple as that. I mean, this is baseball, guys. Are you kidding me?
That's big boy land, too. He did that the first night in. He followed up Avila's home run, back-to-back, almost identical spots.
David Peralta starts this thing off with a bullet to right. And then Jarrod Dyson comes up, who, Ben, you just mentioned, he bunted last night.
With the bases
choose, and he hits one off the Toyota sign. Yeah. This is getaway day, right? Boys came out hacking today.
And this is Paul Goldschmidt, number 3 hitter, the first baseman. We spoke to Torey Lovello this morning about that decision. He didn't seem like he loved it, but he said that was up to Dyson. He made the call.
There's a lot of pop for a little man. That's some bat speed. That goes to show you, it doesn't matter how big you are. You get that bat speed, you drive it on out of the park.
Off the facing of the second deck. Very impressive. You see the difference with the batting average and the on-base percentage for Goldschmidt. In the past, they've often pitched around him. A.J. Pollock is behind him in the order. He gives him good support.
I mean, I haven't had 2 sips of my coffee yet, and already I'm standing up out of my seat.
Jarrod Dyson gave you the wake-up call you needed.
Well, Dyson's Peralta, the first pitch of the game. This is what we want for baseball. We want the ball in play. We want action. It's good for the sport. We want guys taking hacks. I want pitchers throwing strikes.
Payoff pitch to Goldschmidt. Ships it to center field. It drops for a base hit.
All right, Burns, you want guys swinging bats. How do we accomplish that? Open the strike zone up. There's 2 different ways to think about it. One, open it up, make the guy swing more. or two, make the strike zone actually smaller. I don't see how making the strike zone smaller would make him swing the bat more.
What does everyone else think, too? Chime in as Eric gives his answer.
Well, I just think first and foremost, we have to understand the direction that the game's going. And we, as players, I think players right now realize that extra base hits pay. So their approach now, Ben, has become, I'm going to launch. Perfect example, Gerard Dyson. That's not a guy you typically would think would have the ability to go Toyota sign here right off the bat in the first inning of this day game, yet he comes out swinging. And I say this because, look, launch angle's real. Say what you want about it, and you have the old school skeptics trying to denounce launch angle. Look, I get it. 27 degrees is optimal angle. We know this. It's so cool. There's different scientific ways now for us to study the game, and so if we're going to ignore the numbers, that's not a good thing. We need to pay attention to what's going on in the evolution of the game, but at the same time, it's still played by humans. These guys are still going out there. They're still going through the grind. The overall solution, I think, is, look, we have to let the game evolve, but at the same time, strikeouts are not cool. There's nothing cool about striking out. I didn't care what it was. I don't care if I hit the ball 2 inches from my hands and hit this little nubber back to the pitcher. That was better than striking out. Right now, it's become okay to strike out, which isn't necessarily a great thing.
Well, now striking out is just another number. It's Pollock skies one to the right side.
Carlos Santana calling for it, and he's right on the line.
But it's just another number. When I struck out, I was embarrassed, flat out embarrassed, and I was embarrassed a lot, Bernsey. I was embarrassed a lot.
Both.
But you know, I took it. Well, that guy just got the best of me, and now it's just I struck out. It's like rolling a ball over to second base, which I just don't think they're in the same. Should be in the same sentence.
Well, this is really interesting, Ben, because we had a chance to sit down with Torey Lovullo today. And we're talking about the Diamondbacks' approach. And Scott, you mentioned the fact that the Diamondbacks are one of two teams, the Phillies being the other, that have struck out more than 25% of the time, yet at the same time, they've also walked more than 10% of the time. Well, Torey Lovullo said it's a byproduct of them hunting their pitch, whether it's the first pitch of the at-bat, the 10th pitch of the at-bat, whatever. It's the same philosophy that I learned coming up with in the Oakland A's organization.
Yeah.
But there's something really interesting. He said, in a situation when you have a runner on first base, in less than 2 outs, he said, we'd rather have our guys strike out. So he said, we've even asked them to get more selective in that situation because we're okay with you striking out as opposed to hitting a double play.
Correct.
And he's so right. That's the only time in which I would say, yes, obviously a strikeout would be better.
That's exactly what we're dealing with right now. Runner on first, and that's Goldschmidt. Descalso, 1-0, and he's going to wait for his pitch. So Lovullo said in the past, players would reach for a pitch out of their comfort zone. That turns into weak contact, and that's a double play. It's crazy to hear it come out of a manager's mouth, but he'd rather see a strikeout than a double play ball.
That's why you hear certain general managers, they'll say sometimes a strikeout is actually productive. And you think, well, how the heck could a strikeout be productive? That's a perfect example why. It beats the heck out of rolling one over, 4-6-3.
But guess what? As fans, we like watching 4-6-3s. That's a beautiful part of our game.
But players don't like hitting into them.
No, of course not. So it's this constant battle. It's this yin and yang basically going between, hey, what are we going to give the fans what they want, or are we going to do everything we can in our power to try to win the game? And this goes to relievers and pulling starters out earlier too. Of course, fans like to see starters go 100+ pitches every single night, and they don't want to see teams start matching up in the 5th inning. Well, guess what? Strategically, that's pretty much the best thing to do right now.
And that's ball 4 to Descalso, so 2 on, and we just saw the take from Jeffrey. You said launch angles are great, but basic Little League is to protect the plate with 2 strikes.
Good point. Very good point. Look at Joey Votto. You can't tell me you wouldn't want Joey Votto in your lineup every day.
Best hitter in baseball.
What be darned if he's going to strike out.
Ben, what he did last year, was one of the most.
I know.
In the day and age that we play in, the fact that he just about doubled the amount of walks to strikeouts, it's insanity in today's game.
Yeah.
The Diamondbacks have Lively on the ropes. First 3 runners successful. And then Pollock pops out in foul territory. Descalso walks. That moves Goldschmidt up to second. If you're just joining us, it was David Peralta with the leadoff hit, and then Gerard Dyson with a 2-run home run. And Owings with big numbers in his career against the Phillies. He's their Ben Zobrist, they call him. He can play anywhere.
Consolation prize for Lively right now is he still looks good in the powder blues.
John doesn't like the Arizona unis right now. Just saw a comment saying Phillies are great, Diamondbacks uniforms not feeling them.
Yeah, Mark DeRosa, the co-host of MLB Central. Catch that on MLB Network every morning at 10 a.m. Eastern time.
Of the 3 that they've worn in this series, I do prefer these over the other 2.
Yeah, D-Row's not a fan of these because he says he has trouble reading the names. I like them. Plus, they've made a little adjustment so you can actually pull the names out on the back. As you see the Goldschmidt there.
Is that hard to read, Arizona?
I'm going to have to follow up with Mark, see if his opinion has changed so far this season.
The other thing is, pitchers aren't expected to go 9 innings anymore, starting pitchers. So they're going to try and miss as many bats as they possibly can. Robbie Ray the other night threw 107 pitches in 4 2/3. Had 11 strikeouts. But his goal was to miss every bat, and he missed a lot of them. He was nasty. But it was seemingly 3-2 on every guy. Not going to give in. He didn't care if he walked you, but he wanted that punch out.
1-2 coming to Owings. Woo! And he hits it hard to left field. Hoskins over his head, and he's going to play it off the wall. In comes 1 for Arizona, and they'll hold up the next at third. It's an RBI double for Chris Owings. It scores Paul Goldschmidt, and it's 3-0 Diamondbacks.
Well, it looks like batting practice for the D-backs started about 1:05. Wow. These guys they've come out thumping, Ben.
They can swing it, and they started to get hot. Coming into this series, they were swinging the bats well, but that's a pitch that Owings should hit, and he hit it. Ben needs to get down more in the zone. Rick Kranz comes out to talk to Ben Lively, but he needs to work down. He's not a guy that can live at the top very often.
Descalso's at third, Owings at second, and they'll use their first time out on the mound. 22 pitches deep for Ben Lively. A few questions, including here's one from Zayden, all on the same topic as we brought up Votto. Quite simply, in the National League and just overall in Major League Baseball, who would you rather have, Joey Votto or Paul Goldschmidt? People want to know.
Take Goldschmidt because he's younger, but right now at this point, Joey Votto is still the better hitter.
I'd go Goldschmidt. I think Goldschmidt can beat you more ways. He can go up top more. He can steal your bag. Plays an excellent first base. That's a good question, though. That is a good question.
Yeah, that's the thing that I don't think people outside of Arizona realize about Paul Goldschmidt is how great he is as an all-around player. The fact that he's ripped 20-plus bags several different years. Runs the bases really well all around. Not just a great base stealer. And like you mentioned, Ben, terrific at first base.
Yeah.
And already some action in the Phillies bullpen. Drew Hutchison warming. Ben Lively coming off a great performance against the Pirates. 6 innings, 5 hits, and 1 run. He's only recorded 1 out here in the first. 3 runs off 4 hits for Arizona. Ben, what would you have told him if you had a conversation on the mound after those first 3 runs?
If you're going to miss, you have to miss down. And there's times when Ben Lively can climb the ladder, but that's what Zach Greinke has done so well in his career. When he misses down or off the plate. When you miss, you have to miss smaller.
Back to the pitcher. He's going to come home. It's a force play. It's Knapp. The toss to Franco, who bobbles it. Now coming home for Santana. And the rundown continues and ends with Santana tagging Descalso for the second out. So again, we'll have runners on second and third as Avila reaches, and Owings will move over to third.
Give some love to Descalso for sending the run down long enough to get a Veal over there to second base. I had flashbacks to watching Descalso out on the gridiron. His days as a very good football player for the St. Francis Lancers, Mountain View, California.
Lancers?
That's right.
You're only allowed to talk about the Lancers 3 times during the broadcast, so you've used 2 already. I'm just letting you know. That's the limit. It wasn't me. The Facebook audience told us that.
Yeah, I'm going to take the over on that, Facebook audience.
So now Nick Ahmed, number 8 hitter. Ketel Marte getting the day off, and for everyone asking about him, just a routine rest day. Oh, it's Matt Cook.
That's a good thing for Cook, hitting before he actually takes the mound.
So Ahmed's on first after the intentional walk. Those slip by you nowadays because those are free passes.
Yeah.
Literally free. No pitches. So Ahmed's on first. Bags are full for the pitcher.
Dude, I didn't even notice either.
That's what we were all
I had
just
no
looking. We
idea.
said, where did Nick Ahmed go? Thought maybe they switched the order around.
That play go 1, 2, 5, 3, by the way, the rundown? 1, 2, 5, 3?
Nailed it. Big chance for Cook to break this thing wide open.
Took a hack, too.
On the 30th pitch from Ben Lively.
Cook.
2 good hitting pitchers last night. Zach Greinke, Jake Arrieta. I think Greinke's got 6 career homers. Arrieta's 5.
Both of them take their hitting very seriously. This is a full count now to Cook, who's looking for his first big league hit. 7 plate appearances and hitless so far in his career. Quick note for everyone asking about the comments and the emojis popping up. To turn on quiet mode, just swipe right.
Trust me, I'm sure a lot already have, Scott.
Cook to left. That's twisting foul into the seats. He's grinding this at-bat out.
Sure is. The pitch count continues to rise here for Ben Lively.
I think she just hit mute.
No, she was swiping left to bring you back. There it is. Or if you're on a laptop or a desktop, just press the quiet mode button. And then when you want to hear from Eric again, you bring him back.
He's swinging it.
It's not a bad swing.
No. I mean, it doesn't look like he's trying to flay something over to left field either.
Nothing to lose here.
This is the 9th pitch of the at-bat on its way. And he rings him up.
Hooked him.
Huge pitch for Ben Lively to freeze Cook. All 9 Diamondbacks step up to the plate in the first inning. And it began with a David Peralta base hit and Gerard Dyson with that home run swing, bringing him home.
That was a quick, powerful swing. He knows it. Whole ballpark knew it.
Goldschmidt followed with a base hit, and he was brought in from Chris Owings. So you add it all up, and it's the Diamondbacks 3, the Phillies nothing, as we head to the bottom of the first inning on MLB Live on Facebook Watch.
been excellent. When I mean excellent, he is the guy, both sides of the plate. He has made himself into such a good big league hitter. Carlos Santana, the average down, but the on-base percentage is up. Odubel Herrera doing his thing. Rhys Hoskins doing his thing. Aaron Altherr has been hot lately. Andrew Knapp switch hitting catcher. Maikel Franco looks a little bit better, staying in the middle of the diamond. Ben Lively, the pitcher, and of course J.P. Crawford rounding it out. J.P.'s come along as well.
And the starting pitcher for the Arizona Diamondbacks already had his chance at the plate. It's Matt Cook, 27 years old, 6'3", 215 pounds, and like you mentioned earlier, Eric, filling in for Taijuan Walker, who hits the disabled list. He's out for the rest of the year with Tommy John surgery. He just underwent it.
Yeah, looking at the metrics here, I mean, it's got a fastball averages over 92 miles per hour. You know what's amazing? The average Major League fastball now is 92.7 miles per hour. Now, this is something that, and I'm going to go a little off grid here, but basically average perceived velocity, right? And they essentially judge this a lot by spin rate. They have it at 89.88. Now, the reason why is because his spin rate isn't quite what the MLB spin rate is. So I think I've already confused a lot of people, so I'll continue to go. Average exit velocity is below Major League average as well. 89.05 as opposed to 89.08. You're welcome, Scott.
Anyone confused?
Yes.
Please comment below.
Can it start with the guy that gave you those numbers?
Let's start with Cesar Hernandez at the top of the order for the Phillies, the second baseman. Speedy and patient.
And does not mind hitting with 2 strikes. You know, that miles per hour, everyone talks about, everyone throws 98 now. Well, Aaron Nola last year, there were times when he threw 92, so that's out of the hand. Most of the time when he's throwing 92, it's 86 crossing the plate. So when you and I played Bernsey, 92 is 92. I remember hitting coach saying, if you have a reliever coming in the 6th inning, hey boys, get it ready, he's throwing 95. Now 95 is the norm.
Yeah. I think one thing that's real interesting, and I'm going to go back to spin rate for a second. Like, look, we know there's those guys that throw 92 miles per hour, yet it feels like it's coming in at 98 miles per hour. And then vice versa, guys that throw 98, and it feels like it comes in at 92. Spin rate's actually a really good way to go ahead and try to figure that out. But then again, you never know until you finally get in that box.
It's true.
Aaron said thanks, Bernsey. He liked the numbers. Hernandez went after strike 3. He chases, and there's one away.
Like a little changeup right there.
Good changeup by Cook.
Dropped off the table.
Good arm speed.
Yeah, that's the first thing I noticed. And if you're going to look for a guy with a good changeup, Trevor Hoffman, the best. Like, you knew a changeup was coming. You knew it was coming. But still, you couldn't hit it. Because you feel deceived by this arm speed sort of coming at you, which is the exact same as his fastball. I almost felt like his arm speed would speed up on his changeup.
They'll load up the right side of the infield against Carlos Santana. There it is. Cook was fantastic in his first start of the season. 6 innings, 2 hits, just 1 run, struck out 4 batters. The problem was he was overshadowed by Tyson Ross, who was carrying a no-hitter into the 8th inning.
How's Carlos been swinging it? I mean, I see the numbers.
He's
obviously
been good.
Not where
yeah, 171, but his batting average on balls in play, 182. He's been, for lack of better words, very unlucky. He's hit the ball very hard. I remember a series against the Reds earlier this year, seemingly 4 or 5 balls to the warning track in dead center to the wall. But he's still getting his walks despite hitting 171. On base percentage of 304. How do you do that?
Impressive.
He'll take his walk.
Yesterday in the 6th inning, it was about as close as a home run as you can get to right field. Turned into a double instead. And there's the patience from Santana. It's 2-2.
Yeah, to your point, man. average MLB exit velocity is 89 miles per hour. Carlos Santana's average exit velocity so far this season in 2018, 91.38.
Yeah.
Got him to pop it up in foul ground. And that's the second out. Nick Ahmed makes the play. The lone man on the left side of the infield, but this is how it would regularly look, Eric.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the defense. Our Daniel Descalso there at third base, and Nick Ahmed at shortstop. Chris Owings at second base. Paul Goldschmidt mentioned his defense earlier at first. Alex Avila behind the plate. Gerard Dyson in right field. Peralta in left, and A.J. Pollock in center.
You're offending some fans. It's Gerard. There's no R the second time around there.
Yeah. Sorry.
Now Odubel Herrera.
I promise you, it won't be the last mistake I make in the next.
I apologize for Eric
3+
Burns,
hours.
everyone. And that applies to the entire rest of the broadcast. Herrera has reached base in 25 consecutive games. And that goes back to last season.
Look at this, man. Can we all hit like this, please? I mean, this is us in the backyard, Ben, playing wiffle ball, isn't it?
His hand-eye coordination is phenomenal. How he can get the barrel of that bat to a ball is beyond me. And Burns, you had some movement when you played at home plate, but I always like to simplify it. The less movement, the better. Same way with pitching. You don't need to. You want to repeat your delivery out there, right? So less movement, the better. Not in Odubel's case. He is all over the joint.
Yeah, that's good for the game. It's interesting because I'm trying to teach my 6-year-old how to hit.
Right.
And like you said, I think the best way is, hey, let's simplify all the movements and whatnot. Yet, guess what? This dude watched Josh Donaldson hit on TV, and he's 6 years old, and he's got a monster leg kick. He's cocking his bat. And I was trying to go, go for it. His swing's already better than mine was.
This is back on April 20th.
He's the best. And immediately after that, Ivan Nova balked.
So it worked.
He didn't know what Odubel was doing. I don't think Odubel knew what he was doing.
He psyched him out.
I mean, that's a tough timing mechanism, though. And I've talked about this several times before. I'm shocked that more pitchers don't try to mess with your timing, especially with a guy like Herrera that has so much movement before.
Some guys have started to do that. Quick pitch. Not so much a quick pitch, but you say they're out of the stretch, they'll use a slide step more often than not. And then he gets his leg in the air, and then you can't hit with your leg in the air.
And he stays alive, working a long at bat. He's one of the characters in the game from head to toe. I mean, he's rocking some serious salad on top of his head, too.
What's he like, Ben?
8 1/4 is that helmet. 8 1/4 went up a whole helmet.
Oh, come
size.
on.
Yeah, 8 1/4.
Just because of the hair?
Yes, just because of the hair. He's a great guy. Great guy.
And a
Great with
300
us.
hitter with 2 strikes so far this season.
You man
You
alive.
can't draw that up any better for Matt Cook. Looked like it was going to get past him. He gobbles it up
Was he
and
playing-
records the out, a 1-2-3 frame.
I think we'll see that later.
What's he playing, hacky sack?
Well, let's see. We don't go to break. We go right to the replay.
Yeah, this is skills.
Wow.
It's a great way to put it. That's hacky sack right there.
You can't go out and PFP that one, can you, Bernsey?
Impressive.
On pitch 8 of the at-bat, Matt Cook sits down the side in order. It's 3-0 Arizona as we head to the second, and we head to the 4th member of our broadcast. Hey, this NL East is good. Isn't that what we're learning, Ben?
They are good. The exception of the Miami Marlins. I think they're in that stage where they're rebuilding, but other than that, toss-up. I think the Nats they're going to get back into it, obviously, because of their rotation and their lineup. They'll be back in the thick of things. And the Mets, if they stay healthy with their starting staff, I mean, the way Cespedes is playing, Asdrubal Cabrera's leading the league in hitting.
Laura says Phillies look better than the Diamondbacks. Okay, not so far today, though. And that's on the ground to Santana. A little trouble with it, but plenty of time for the underhand toss to Lively. And David Peralta is retired.
I think she was referring to the uniform, Scott.
It's a good call. That's why we have you here. Clean that up for me.
It's a lot more of your life you probably need to clean up.
Showered this morning.
I just can't help you there.
Gerard Dyson, in his first trip to the plate, went long to right field. Second pitch, he's pulled over the wall in this series. And this man is not known for power. 33 years old. 50th round draft pick by the Kansas City Royals back in 2006. Key role player on that team. Off the bench, fourth outfielder, elite defense. And suddenly he has a big power swing.
He signed a 2-year deal with Arizona.
Shallow left. Hoskins coming in, and he has it on the move.
He's been great out there. He really has. I mean, to make that transition from first base to the outfield, he played all of 2 games in Lehigh Valley last year in AAA before coming up, and he's been great out there.
That one hung up, giving him enough time.
Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, it took him a while to go ahead and get over there, but like Ben said, he's not an outfielder. He's a first baseman, and he's out there for the good of the team and doing what he can do to help out. He struggled last season, man. I mean, I'm talking in the outfield because he has not struggled one bit at the plate. This dude absolutely mashes, but he's a bit of a liability still out in left field.
Pitch.
Goldschmidt's behind 0-2. After his base hit in the first, he ended up scoring on the Owings double. Diamondbacks with 3 off 4 hits.
Big inning for Ben to get back in this, keep that pitch count down. You see already at 44, but just to bounce back after giving up 3 in the first.
Right center field, and that's going to fall. It's another hit for Goldschmidt, and this one's extra bases. He'll stop at second with a 2-out double.
That was some crazy positioning.
Yeah, they've been doing that the last 3 games.
Why?
Basically, Aaron Altherr is hugging the line in right, and that ball's hit straight away right field.
How many balls is Paul Goldschmidt hitting straight down the right field line? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Now, maybe
Is that some good hitting or what?
if you're assuming that the center fielder's so far over.
Right.
I mean, that should have been a line drive out to the right fielder. Yet, ends up being a double for Goldschmidt. Nice piece of hitting.
Really good piece of hitting.
And now it's A.J. Pollock.
And you would think it wouldn't be that way because his ability to hit the ball all over the field.
It's aggressive.
He can go line to line with anybody.
Yeah.
So here's a question, just based off what we've seen from Lively so far. Are you being careful with A.J. Pollock with Daniel Descalso up next? And I'm asking this to everyone watching right now to shoot some comments over. Would you be careful almost to the point of basically walking Pollock so that you can face Descalso? Or are you going right after him?
I'm going after Pollock. Descalso hit a 3-run bomb the first night. You know, lefty versus righty. I'll take my chances with Pollock, who's been hot.
And Pollock has the track record. These are the top 2 in the lineup right now, especially with some players missing. Jake Lamb and Steven Souza, both on the disabled list. 1-1 is crushed.
Whoa!
Foul.
That's got to count for something, doesn't it?
That had a lot of distance on it. Are you sure you don't want to pitch around A.J. Pollock?
The strike. I don't think those fellas were expecting to get a foul ball today. Quick bat.
That's a buggy whip.
Quick bat.
He's slugging .611 with runners in scoring position. Corey just said, no, I would pitch to Pollock. Otherwise, Descalso goes long, like you said. He's in a hot streak.
I've mentioned my obsession with A.J. Pollock in the Open, but this kid has produced at every single level. Raked at Notre Dame, went to Cape Cod, won the MVP of the league there.
He just needs to stay on the field.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Because the talent is there.
30 years old. He'll be a free agent after the season. 50th pitch from Lively.
Coming in hot.
Gabe Kapler did say the curveball's been better for Ben Lively so far this season. More drop, and he said more rise on his fastball.
He's had more tilt on that curveball. Today he's left a couple up. We saw the one to Owens in the first inning, and he hit off the wall.
Goldschmidt at second, and the pitch is hit hard. Left center field. Hoskins looking back at the track, leaps up, and he's got it. Yes! Rhys Hoskins. Let me see a little left field.
Rhys!
He told you, Burnsy.
Give the peanut butter cup a little love.
Now come on in here, Rhys, and hit a homer.
Nice.
How many times do you see it? Good play in the field.
This is a Sacramento kid. I'm all about him. I root for the local blood. And what a play. This is not easy.
Burnsy, you want him to go in the wall harder than that?
No, man, I just want him to catch the ball. That's it.
One year, Burnsy, he hit 12 home runs when I was catching. 12 in 1 year. 1 year. And I went into Boch, Bruce Boch. I said, Boch, you're the skipper. He said, if you throw this guy a strike, it's in the bay or it's off the wall. He said, I'm not playing baseball like that. I said, you're the skipper. And I walked out. Boch would challenge him. But there's just those guys that, man, they commanded that presence, and it was just something to behold.
Yeah, he was on a different level, though. I mean, he's the only guy where I would stand out in the outfield, and I'd get nervous. And I'd say to myself, please don't hit the ball to me.
But how about his BP? That ballpark is enormous. During the day, the ball will travel a little bit, but he'd go out and take BP like it's a wiffle ball field, just hitting moonshots.
He hit a ball to me, day game. I was playing left field in Oakland. And literally, I still to this day have no idea how I caught the ball. Just it was up there, the sun, the sky. And think about this. He's left-handed, right? So you would think a right-handed pull hitter is the one I'd be scared of the high, real high pop-ups that take forever to come down. Nuh-uh.
Hoskins smokes it down the line. It's just foul. Three infielders on the left side. Yeah.
Celebrate her. Just picked it smooth.
Now, conversely to Odubel Herrera, another exaggerated leg kick, but Rhys gets it down. He gets it down.
Let's focus on the fan take now from Ralph Lopez, please.
Hello, Ralph.
We'll work on the spelling of my last name shortly, but any sort of love is a good thing at this point. Did Facebook get rid of the thumbs down? I think they got rid of the thumbs down.
We're just thumbs up, and we actually play a game later called Like It or Leave It. You're going to love it. It's 3-1 to Hoskins. Best on base percentage in baseball right now. And that's hit hard. Left center field. It's going to drop and roll to the wall for extra bases. Hoskins will make his way to second with a stand-up double to lead off the bottom of the second.
He just gets it. He does. Here's a 3-1 pitch. Bernsey, how many 3-1 pitches you come out of your shoes on, almost fall over, right? Not Rhys Hoskins. He's on time. He doesn't try and do anything different. He takes the same swing. It's the same approach.
We talk about having the bat in the zone for a long time. And that side angle that we just showed exemplifies what that means. Basically, he's putting himself in a position to have success to every single area of the ballpark. He's able to pull the ball, hit the ball up the middle. He jammed himself right there. That wasn't crazy hard contact from Rhys Hoskins right there. But the fact that his bat was just in the zone, a little jam, doesn't matter. He's impressive.
Someone just asked if the Diamondbacks have an ace. I mean, it's not Cook, but
an ace?
I could think of a couple.
Patrick Corbin?
I could think of 3, actually.
Greinke character. And here's a side swing. Here it is. Now it's in the zone. And pretty much the best way to exemplify it is it's flat. It's flat. It's there for a long time. And there's so much debate right now about how to teach hitting. Do you swing down? Do you swing down to the ball? Do you swing up to the ball? Well, look, let me tell you something. Swing flat. Think about swinging across the table. That's what I'm trying to teach my 6-year-old. Straight across the table. So the old school way was swing down to the ball, right? Now, I think people are talking about swinging up to the ball. Let's just keep this simple. Let's swing flat. And basically what I think happens is, look, you do swing down to the ball, but then you swing up through the ball.
Right.
But the more you can keep that bat on plane and keep it flat, the better chance you're going to give yourself to have success.
Ted Williams said that years ago.
Yep.
He said swing up, swing down. I was like, how is that possible? He did it better than anybody. But his finish after contact is impressive too. Rhys Hoskins.
The Phillies' 2-strike approach this season has been worlds better than last year. Almost 100-point difference in slugging percentage when they have 2 strikes against them. Altair on a line to right, and Dyson is there. Hoskins staying at second.
To hang with him there.
It's interesting. Couple things. Number one, Altair's really starting to heat up.
Yeah.
Swing the bat really well as of late. The other thing, that's why you always keep your head up at second base. Now, I'm not sure if Hoskins could have been able to take third there, but from this angle, if you're ready to run right there, guess what? Third base is vacated. But he still has 1,000 OPS for his career. I mean, I don't see it dropping that much. I mean,
because of his approach.
Yes.
Yes.
And
when we did our first game, Mets-Phillies, for MLB Live on Facebook Watch, Rhys Hoskins stole third base. Don't sleep on the big boys in this series. Paul Goldschmidt can run too.
Dude, look at that mustache. Andrew Knapp.
It's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, buddy.
Great push broom.
That's some serious lip lettuce, man.
What does everyone think about it? Comment below. Andrew Knapp playing day game after night game.
Cowboy.
Yes, it is.
University of California.
You know what's funny?
How about that one?
That one's better. Who's with me?
If I'm not mistaken, I think Knapp had that thing at Cal. The Furry Murray. I mean, that looks like a squirrel on his upper lip.
A ball and 2 strikes to Knapp. Hoskins has 3 stolen bags on the season already. He's been caught twice. We're only a few weeks into the season. Yes, Steven. Nice piece of hitting by Hoskins after the great catch that saved a run. One of the most impressive two-strike power hitters I think I've ever seen, and he's only been in the league for less than a year.
He just trusts himself. He's got that inner confidence. And he's an unbelievably nice guy.
Is he the leader of the position players?
I think he and Carlos Santana, he's kind of assumed that role. He does it in a good way, too.
Someone just asked, who's better at running the bases than the Diamondbacks? It's a great point. These are two of the best teams in extra bases taken this season. Knapp with a half swing there, and a strikeout for Cook. There's 2 down. Alexa, what do you have?
Yeah, Scott, there's this interesting story about Matt Cook, who made his big league debut for 2018 last Friday against the Padres. He was really amped because he'd already come in relief earlier in the season, but making his first start of the season was something special to him. So he turned to his catcher for the day, Alex Avila, and he said, "You ready to go out there?" And Alex said, "Yeah, sure, I'm ready." So they go running out, and the team doesn't run back out with them. And so Matt turns around and he's looking at the team like, "Hey, why aren't you guys following me?" And they're all kind of laughing at him because, as Alex Avila told me, the Diamondbacks like to wait for the PA announcer to announce that the team is going to run out onto the field. Well, Matt Cook wasn't aware of that. He was just so amped up to go out there, so he kind of got caught in between the mound and the dugout. Meanwhile, Alex Avila is just out there ready to go. So it wasn't so much a prank, but the guys in the dugout were having a lot of fun with Matt Cook, and he had a lot of fun back. So he's acclimating very well to this big league club.
Hi, Jinx.
I think you just go out there and own it.
Franco, left field, and it's caught by Peralta. Hung up for way too long. And after the double from Hoskins to lead off the bottom of the second, fly ball out, strikeout, and the fly out to left. Another good inning from Matt Cook. So let's throw this to the audience. It all is Brett Myers. That was 2008 too. It was a good year for the Phillies. Hey, whatever, it worked out.
That ain't right.
They got the media in on it. I mean, that's one thing. You get Charlie Manuel in, I got it, right? But now when the media is coming to you and you got to answer questions about being traded.
They did everything 100% that year. Best prank I think I've ever seen, and they won the World Series that year, of course, too, by the way. That is epic. And he had no idea. Can you imagine thinking that you're about to go home and tell your family that you're moving to Asia? But then you're really not. Unreal. Let's start inning number 3 and Daniel Descalso for Arizona. A 3-run first for the Diamondbacks. MLB Live on Facebook Watch. Scott Braun, Eric Burns, Ben Davis, and Alexa Dat with you all day. Descalso lifts it to right center field. And it's Altair, and it's no one going to get to it in time for a double for Descalso. So the Diamondbacks with a leadoff double to start the third. Was Altair hustling for that ball in right center?
I think it was just hitting no man's land.
That wasn't going to be caught.
deepest part of the park.
Yeah, Josh Spencer says it perfectly here. Descalso is the most underrated player in the history of Major League Baseball. That's how I feel about it.
Whoa.
He entered today hitting a .182, 182. I swear to you, I feel like I've never seen the guy get out. This goes back to 2011 when he was with the St. Louis Cardinals. Cardinal fans will tell you the same thing. Every team that he's with, he's a contributor, and he plays wherever you want to put him. He puts together quality at bat after quality at bat. And at the end of the day, guess what? The numbers aren't pretty, but when you consider what the numbers are for a bench guy that's able to bring to the table what he does, he is incredibly valuable. And he's still a St. Francis Lancer.
Is that number 3, Scott?
That's 3. That's all he can use. Altair got it. And now the throw to third is going to be cut off. But Aaron Altair makes a spectacular play right in front of the crowd in foul territory. He was hustling for that one.
Like I said, graceful.
Yeah, there's a lot going on right here. Altair comes over. What a play. The spin, and he throws a rocket to third base, Ben. He's got a hose.
He's got a very good arm.
I wanted to see that ball not get cut off.
I think from Michael's reaction, it was going to be more towards the left field side. You see Michael start to drift to the left, so I think JP did the right thing and cut that off. But heads up base running there by Descalso.
Trying to prove Eric's point. Does everyone think Descalso is the most underrated player in Major League history? If you have another name, throw it out there.
It's an aggressive statement.
It is. You're full of them. Infield is in. Alex Avila's up. Fielder's choice back in the first. He's 0 for 1.
Alex came into this series hitting 114. Hit 3 hits his first night and hit a moonshot. His first at bat in here. I mean, it was a bomb to right center.
He entered this series 4 for 35 with 18 strikeouts in his prior 12 games. And that first game went 3 for 4, 2 base hits and a home run.
This was the shot. It goes off the need help sign. Look how far this ball goes. Up top, up top, up top. Can't even see how far. Need help. Yeah, that sign needs help. It's got a dent in it. Off that gentleman's head and ricocheted. It was a far one.
Vincent Velasquez needed help. 96 miles per hour center cut, and that's ball 4 to Avila. So it sets up runners on the corners for Nick Ahmed. Avila had a huge season at the plate last year. 834 with the OPS.
Yeah. Yeah, he was banging before he got traded, really, with the Tigers.
Moved to the Cubs. Ended up playing a lot with them because Wilson Contreras went down with an injury.
Yeah, his OPS was over 1,000, I believe, in Detroit.
So another adventurous inning for Ben Lively. His 60th pitch is downstairs and in to Nick Ahmed. Ahmed walked back in the first.
When Avila stands up there, am I the only guy that feels like he's a left-handed Jack Parkman?
Eric, that's a good call.
And that's shipped to left field. Hoskins looking for it, and it's over his head. It's a 3-run home run for Nick Ahmed. And the Diamondbacks grab a 6-0 lead. Ahmed muscles up for his 4th of the year.
And the Boo Birds are out in Philly. Wow.
Another pitch elevated.
I didn't think it was possible to boo on a weekday day game. Everyone's still kind of waking up, but Nick Ahmed, I mean, how can you be booing? This is just good baseball.
It's a good swing.
Yeah.
Really good swing.
Celebrate the action, Philly fans.
14 runs batted in 20 games this season for Ahmed. And now the second plate appearance for the opposing starter against Ben Lively.
Let's not forget the tremendous defense that Nick Ahmed plays at short.
There's a ball.
That's not a game ball.
I mean, it's not a game ball. Of course it's a game. It's a homer ball.
No, usually it ends up being somebody's ball from home. They put it in their pocket and then they throw out a different one. You've never seen that act before?
They always do it at Wrigley.
Right?
Always do it at Wrigley.
That's why right away when it gets thrown, I'm like, not a game ball. Prove it. Oldest trick in the book. You don't fall for that, do you?
Maybe I'm just naive. I mean, if I get a ball back, I'm not pulling a switcheroo. I'm throwing the gamer back. Otherwise, I'm not throwing it back.
That's why you're 120% Eric Burns. 66 pitches from Ben Lively. And look at Cook again. Work it to a full count. Did that back in the first and was frozen by a curveball. Ball 4.
And that's going to be it.
9 pitches in his first at-bat. And Matt Cook this time will reach on a 3-2 walk. So one starter will knock out the other. 6 runs charged to the account of Ben Lively, and he's responsible for the base runner at first. He'll leave after 2 1/3 and be replaced by Drew Hutchison for some long relief. We're going to go back to the top of the order for the Diamondbacks in a moment, with David Peralta about to make his 3rd plate appearance of the day. For you, Facebook. How would you grade Gabe Kapler's performance so far as manager of the Phillies? Let me provide a little background for you. They're second in the division right now at 15-8. It was a 1-4 start. They are 14-4 since then. And here are the poll results thus far. 59% success rating. Excellent. And 37% good. Everyone's loving Gabe Kapler.
Why would you not? It's gotten them to where they are right now. A lot of W's.
Well, Ben, I remember the home opener.
Yeah.
They're 1-4. They come home. And that was about as loud as the boos get for a home opener. Doug Peterson threw out the first pitch, Super Bowl winning coach of the Eagles that day. And they asked him about it afterward. And he said, oh, the boos. I remember those. He said, just trust the process. Those are the words you hear in Philadelphia so often. And hey, it's working. Phillies sports teams are thriving right now. Left field, Hoskins giving it a look. And that's gone. Whoa. 2-run home run, David Peralta. It's 8-0 Diamondbacks. It sneaks over the wall, and here comes the baseball. 3rd home run of the season for David Peralta.
Think guys like hitting here?
Oppo Taco-licious too, man.
Reese started in on this ball. He started in on it.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, he's looking up and said, uh-oh.
Watch this. Well, that's a changeup away, out on his front foot, one-handed, gone.
And now Gerard Dyson, who started off the home run affair. That was the third home run by the Diamondbacks. There it is. Hello. We see you on MLB Live on Facebook Watch. 8-0 Arizona.
I mean, that's incredible, Ben. This place is a bandbox, huh?
That was the most shocking stat to me.
Ball will jump here.
The fact that the Phillies and the Diamondbacks had the two best ERAs in the National League. Little tapper, that'll dribble foul. The fact that those two had the best ERAs, just based on the fact that they pitch in bandboxes.
Yeah. Well, I was talking with Dave Magadan the other day, who is one of my all-time favorite teammates, the hitting coach for the Diamondbacks. He said the humidor has played a major factor in the way the ball's jumping in Arizona. He said it's a noticeable difference, absolutely noticeable difference.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of anything that would suppress offense.
So the big part of the humidor also is for pitchers, especially in the summertime, to get some grip on the baseball out in Arizona. The general manager of the Diamondbacks, Mike Hazen, said it's going to help them. Aside from the flight of the ball, which should decrease.
Eric, do you know what suppressed my offense? My swing.
You and I both.
Someone said, did you call it a bam box or a band box? Either one applies. Dyson's down on strikes.
A bandbox.
Eric, they were asking you too.
I call it the bandbox.
B-A-N-D?
No, B-A-M.
B-A-M.
There it is. I figured.
As in bam, bam. No crosswind with the flags. But I don't think it really matters.
It's funny in this ballpark. So if you take a look at the center field flags, you see they're all going this way, right? Well, what it does, it circles back. It goes left to right, and it circles back, and then blows out to left.
Mm-hmm.
So it just creates a current out that way.
Goldschmidt on one hop. Hernandez makes the play. And Goldie is 1 or 2 for 3 on the afternoon. We enter the bottom of the third. Diamondbacks 8, Phillies nothing. But hey, the Phillies have one of the best mascots in sports history. Picture a world where you can put a mascot costume on and do whatever you want in Philadelphia's ballpark. That is the Philly Fanatic. That was fun.
I've been laughing at that big green furry thing for 41 years. I will sit up here with my partner Tom and we'll laugh out loud like children. He's just so funny.
When you came to the ballpark, where did the Philly Fanatic rank amongst the players? Like, if you wanted to get your picture taken with, I'm going to assume Mike Schmidt,
right.
number one.
Mike Schmidt, Darren Dalton, and Juan Samuel were my 3 favorite Phillies.
What about the Fanatic?
The Fanatic might have been the only untradeable Philly. Still is the only untradeable Philly. We'll give you the Fanatic for Mike Trout straight up. Nope, not happening.
Drew Hutchison, a leadoff walk against Cook. Hutchison, 2 for 7, career hitter. Fanatic has some friends today, too.
The Galapagos gang. You know, he is from the Galapagos Islands.
Really?
Yes.
And this is his birthday week.
Yesterday was his birthday.
That's
he turned
right.
40 yesterday.
He looks good for 40.
He does. Has some new feathers on him this year.
No gray hairs either. Best mascot in baseball, let us know. I'm going to throw a name out there after I tell you about J.P. Crawford up next with the relief pitcher Hutchison off first. How much have you seen of Orbit, the Houston Astros mascot? He has a lot of Philly Fanatic in here.
Yeah.
I feel like he watches tape of the Fanatic
Why
and then
wouldn't
brings
you?
his performances on the field. Who's with me on Orbit?
What happened to the San Diego Chicken?
Pulled right side, Goldschmidt going for the double play, and they'll complete it really clean.
See,
on the Diamondbacks.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why Goldie can beat you in a myriad of ways. This is just textbook. He's already in the throwing lane, so he doesn't have to create a throwing lane, so he doesn't hit Hutchison in the back. You see him playing behind. That's a tough hop. Fires it onto Ahmed. Excellent play.
I think that would be the hardest to turn, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first baseman.
3-6-3.
Trying to have to create that angle. Sometimes having to get back to the bag. Knowing whether, hey, should I try to get back to the bag or let the pitcher cover it at that point? Let's go back to the San Diego Chicken. Was the Chicken there when you were there?
No, we had the Friar.
Oh, it was already
He
gone.
was already gone. I think the Chicken at that point was on more of a national tour. In minor league stadiums and such.
Yeah, he outgrew San Diego.
What a city. What weather.
Was there last week. Incredible. I like the direction of that team, too.
I do too.
The sequel never beats the original from Doug. But that's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Doug, for backing me up there. Strike 3, Cesar Hernandez goes down. A 10-pitch inning to complete the third.
That was nasty.
So Cook gives up the leadoff walk to the reliever Hutchison. Crawford double play, Hernandez strikeout. And we move on to the fourth. MLB Live on Facebook Watch. And right now, joining us live, last night's pitch.
JP, I let him know, hey, man, don't hang your head. I'll pick you up, and I expect you to do the same. And that's kind of how you have to roll as a team. You know, I'm going to have miscues out there, and guys will pick me up at the plate, and vice versa.
Jake, obviously you were a highly coveted free agent out there this offseason. Why did you choose the Phillies?
Well, you know, I was going to have the opportunity to come in here and be around a lot of young starting pitching and have a tremendous influence from the get-go. I knew the talent level was extremely high with Pavetta, Lively, Velasquez. You know, these guys have a tremendous upside, and seeing it from the other side, knowing that they're only a couple steps away from being dominant. So just to kind of instill some of the experiences I've been through in my career, especially early on, all the ups and downs, being in AAA, going to the big leagues, and being unsure of myself and not really knowing how to have success consistently. So now that I've found that, being able to kind of relay these messages as positively as I can to help them out.
A.J. Pollock facing a 1-2 count in the top of the fourth against Drew Hutchison. Jake Arrieta with us on MLB Live on Facebook Watch. The questions pouring in, and I would say about 90% of the questions right now, Jake, are about the beard. They want to know the maintenance. Do you plan on shaving, or do you plan on growing it out all season? They're not used to this.
I'm going to keep it. Honestly, it's not going anywhere, and I don't really have any maintenance. I take care of the cheek hair up top, you know, because it kind of creeps towards my eyes a little bit if I don't stay on top of that. And you know, down around the neck, you got to clean that up. You know, it gets a little itchy, but I got to keep it, man. I think it looks pretty good. I got a decent face, but I like having a beard. So
looks great to me. They're just not used to it. They haven't seen it. That you've been rocking that for a while on the Cubs too. John wants to know, are you working on anything new, like a new pitch, or just refining something?
Well, you know, I think last night's an indicator of kind of where I'm at in my career. You know, the previous start against Pittsburgh, I pretty much had everything going. I had the glove side sinker, the hip shot to lefties. I was able to spin multiple breaking balls for strikes. And then last night, you know, I really didn't have a consistent breaking ball, but I had the ability to use it in situations that were necessary. Even though if it wasn't necessarily for a strike, I was spinning the curveball, using the changeup for some big outs, and that's what you have to do. Even if you don't have certain pitches, you have to find a way to mix them in to keep these guys off balance. Because as you guys are seeing, these guys are a very potent offense. And if you're too much in the middle of the plate with just the fastball and not able to keep them off balance, they're going to do damage. So I'm just refining the ability to go out there without my best stuff and go 7 innings and make it, you know, the appearance to the other side that I do have everything working, even if that's not necessarily the case.
Jake, how often do you go out there knowing that you have your best stuff and things do not work out in your favor, and then vice versa?
Man, that's a good question. You know, it's hard to really tell until you get out there in between the lines, because I tell guys this a lot. In 15, when I threw the no-hitter against the Dodgers, I had probably the worst pregame bullpen I've ever had. You know, I was spiking my heater. I couldn't throw a curveball in the strike zone. My changeup was terrible. So, you know, going out there and feeling like you have electric stuff sometimes can take you away from your game, and you don't necessarily have enough emphasis on commanding the ball and moving it around and changing speeds. You fall in love with throwing the fastball and probably too much of the plate. So there's a lot of times where I've gone out there, especially early in my career, where I'm like, man, it's lights out. These guys have no shot, and then I end up giving up a 4 spot. And you know, on the other side of that, like last night, you know, I didn't feel like I had great stuff. I wasn't necessarily commanding the ball that well. I was just able to keep it down enough to force some weak contact. You know, they found a couple holes with some balls through the infield, but I was throwing a lot of strikes, and I was mixing enough breaking balls in, especially the changeup, just to get those guys heavy on the front foot. And as you know, as a hitter, man, if you have that 8 to 10 mile per hour range from your fastball to your changeup, it's hard to pick up, you know, and guys see heater and they swing, and, you know, the next thing they know, it's off the end of the bat or something for weak contact. So it happens a lot. I've seen guys go out there with tremendous stuff and not have success, and you know, obviously the flip side is I prefer that. I prefer to go out there with not as good of stuff and be able to really focus on commanding the ball and moving it around.
Jake, thank you so much for the time. Wish we had more of it. Good luck the rest of the season.
All right, fellas.
Thanks,
Thank
Jake.
you.
And let's bring in Tori Lavello right away for a quick question. Tori, I apologize for the time there that we spent with Jake Arrieta, but take me through the first few innings for your team offensively and what's gone so well.
Well, I think, first of all, we came out ready to play, and after a tough situation, walking through the nice night for Arrieta, I was really proud of these guys. So, yeah, we jumped on it for 3 runs. I think the key blow there was Dyson hitting the 2-run home run, and then I don't think Lively really got into rhythm. So we got ahead of him a little bit, and then Nick Ahmed's big 3-run home run obviously was a big difference.
So we know that starting pitching is obviously such a commodity in the big leagues, but your commodity is your bullpen. How much of an advantage is it for you to have that stellar bullpen?
Well, we got some really good pieces down there. They want the ball. They know what they got to go and do each and every outing, and it's just up to me to make sure that they're rested and ready and prepared. But all those pieces that are down there have done a great job up to this point in the season. They're attacking the zone, attacking game plans.
Tori, thank you so much for the time again. We apologize for the delay there. Good luck the rest of the way.
All right, boys. Talk to you soon.
Diamondbacks manager and manager of the year last season.
Yes.
Tori Lavello, a team that lost 93 games 2 seasons ago, won 93 games last year. And it's Matt Cook for another inning. Here in the bottom of the 4th, he's facing Santana, then Herrera and Hoskins, 2, 3, and 4 in the lineup for Philly.
Well, the one thing he's done, he's come in here and he's created this sort of family atmosphere. He's got guys buying in. I think the #1 thing is to try to get guys to buy into their role, whatever that be.
Santana sends it to center field. Pollock gives it a look. It's off the wall. He'll play it well, and Santana will stand up and station at second base with a leadoff double in the 4th. Again, very close to a homer, just like yesterday in right field, this time to center, and he ends up with 2 bags instead of 4.
Ball out away from him. That's a good shot there. You see the rosin off the bat, just off the midsection of that fence. He is swinging the bat well. I think right now he just wants hits. See that average get up over 200 and start to climb.
Third straight inning that the Phillies have had a leadoff batter reach. Looking for their first run, it's Herrera.
But Eric, you talk about that family atmosphere. You're with these guys for more than you are with your actual family. So why not try and create that?
Yeah, Gabe Kapler talked about that as well.
Right.
And he said that, when you're in the front office, it's a lot easier to go ahead and look at these guys' numbers. But when you're with these guys every day, he said he's looking down the line. He's like, I'm looking at these guys like they're my son.
Right.
So when it comes to making a decision, who should I play that day? Well, a lot of times your son's the last one you want to give up on.
Did we talk about his managers, Tori's managers in the past? Terry Francona in Philadelphia, who he said he loved playing for and learned a lot from, and someone who wouldn't put one player above another. He said everyone was equal. And then Sparky Anderson, he said, was such an imposing figure, he felt nervous as a player. He didn't want to be that same type of person for his players. Were they ever felt tense at the plate?
Well, it's interesting because I think managing today is different than it was 20 years ago. I think this millennial generation were raised differently. And the thought and idea of having a manager, which is sort of this authoritative, over-imposing figure, it's not going to work with these guys. I think that, I'm not to say that they're sensitive, but they didn't come up that way. And if you try to pull that off with them, you're not going to get the best results. And ultimately, it's about getting the best results.
In on the hands to Herrera, and Dyson lines it up. And back to second goes Santana.
You want to put your guys in a position to succeed. It's as simple as that. You want to do whatever you have to do to get them to play their best baseball. And if that's massaging some of the egos, massage the egos.
Now Rhys Hoskins doubled back in the second inning, also made an outstanding play in left field earlier. Some fans were asking how players have responded to Gabe Kapler so far, which I think is a great question too. And we spoke to Gabe about it this morning, and he has made many adjustments. He's learning not only how to manage this game, but also how to interact with his players. And it seems like they're responding now.
They are.
On one hop, nice play at third by Descalso. The long throw across the diamond for the second out.
What a play.
More on Gabe Kapler. 57th round draft pick by the Tigers. That round doesn't even exist anymore. He won the World Series in 2004 with that famous Red Sox squad. In November of 2014, he worked in the front office for the LA Dodgers and then became the 54th manager in Phillies history, the 4th in the past 6 seasons. And he said his goal in baseball is to work in every aspect of the game, and he's pretty much done that already. Front office, manager, player. He was a minor league manager, and he's been in the broadcast booth. What else does he need to do? I think he did it. He checked everything off, and he's only 42 years old.
And just win a World Series as a manager. Obviously his ultimate goal.
Well, he said he heard that early on from Theo Epstein. Theo said the best managers are the ones that have seen every area, and it makes a lot of sense.
High fly ball. Right corner, Dyson. Won't get to it. So after that 1-4 start, he guaranteed postseason for the Phillies.
Yeah.
And his
motto is be bold.
I just was going to say that. That is bold. Good. One broadcast together and you're finishing my sentences. We're on the same page.
Well, one of the things he told us, guys, is that, look, he came in here with his idea of how he wanted to manage. And he always felt that if the numbers said it was the best thing for the team, that the guys were going to go with it. Well, guess what? He found out in the early going that wasn't necessarily the case. And so he said, intentionally, he's dialed it back a bit. And the greatest managers, the greatest players, man, the greatest broadcasters, Scott Braun, have the ability to adjust. And it's not this long, drawn-out sort of process. So he has adjusted, and it's worked out well for the Phillies.
Major adjustments for Aaron Altair in the past week. This is what Kapler said back on the 17th. If they're booing, then I'm not doing my job well. I won't dig in and become stubborn. Rather, it gave me the opportunity to challenge my own assumptions, and more specifically, the moves I make on behalf of our club. I examine why people are disappointed and whether it makes sense to alter course or stay with the current game plan. At the end of the day, our goals are the same. He just wants to win. Altair crushes that baseball to left center, and that'll bring in the first run for the Phillies. It's a 2-out double for Aaron Altair. And Phillies on the board.
Loud noises. He hit a bullet, and I mean a bullet, his first at bat. He got an L9 out of it. This one, he gets a double and a steak.
I'm a huge Aaron Altair fan. Have been for a while. Look at him pull his hands in. So he goes to right field, like he said, Ben, in his first at bat, and then pulls his hands in on that one right there. Hits a screamer into left center. Yeah.
And that's where, if you look at it from a pitcher standpoint, from a catcher standpoint, okay, you hit a bullet to right on the ball away. It's a bullet to left center on the ball in. Now where do we go? Uh-oh. We're stuck.
It's interesting. One of the other things that Kapler said with Aaron Altair, he said everything's rhythm and timing. And when he gets out of that rhythm and timing, he can really struggle. But when he locks it in, he's as good as just about anybody in baseball.
Walk-off hit on Sunday against the Pirates. Yesterday, his home run was the difference. A 3-run shot in the 6th off a Zach Greinke slider. And now Altair at second after driving in Carlos Santana. And that ball's into the ground shift. And Andrew Knapp is retired. So are the Phillies. After 4 innings, they trail 8-1. And we go downstairs to Alexa Dad, who's actually at the yard out in Ashburn Alley. One of the best parts of Citizens Bank Park. So I'll ask all the Phillies fans that have been here, what's the best part of the ballpark? And also with that speed pitch area, I mean, they're looking for future talent, aren't they, Ben? Never too young.
It's a brand new addition to the ballpark here. It's already beautiful ballpark, and you know, we have the great views up here of the downtown Philadelphia, but it is a great addition. Obviously, I would say the food is the best part of this ballpark. It's the food. I love to eat, so the food is incredible.
Do you have a spot?
How about the spread in the press room, man?
It's the best in the league. It is the best in the league.
Spinach quiche.
That's right up your alley.
It is. We'll open it up a little more broad, too, if you haven't been to this ballpark. Favorite current ballpark? Everyone watching, let us know. 7, 8, and 9 due up for the Diamondbacks. Avila, Ahmed, and Cook.
I mean, somebody give me a left-handed Jack Parkman here. The only thing he's missing is the shimmy. Watch him, he tucks that front shoulder in.
What do you say? Don't stand on the tracks where the train is coming through.
He had some epic lines.
Someone asked, why do announcers always wax poetic on food? Do you not like food?
Well, I finally found something I'm really good at.
I'm surprised someone's still listening to us.
All three of us are good at eating, but a few others asking Ben, what's the best food spot at the ballpark here at CPB? Or CBP, I should say.
You can never go wrong with a cheesesteak, that's for sure. You have Campo's, Tony Luke's, Delco's Original, which is phenomenal. The chicken sandwich at Federal Donut is to die for. It is really, really good.
Is that a donut sandwich?
No, it's a fried piece of chicken cooked in donut oil, and they put a special sauce on top. Obviously, Greg Luzinski, one of the best Phillies of all time, has Bull's Barbecue here down the left field line. His barbecue is awesome. Awesome. Some brisket, chicken, ribs. Breaking ball here by Hutchinson, just locks up Avila.
That's some serious spin rate,
yeah.
Eric.
Let's go back to the food, Ben.
Really can't go wrong. You just can't go wrong with any of them. Chickies and Pete's, of course, their fries, their crab fries are just awesome and addicting. So you got the
Wait, hold on. So far you've given me crab fries.
Yes.
And fried chicken in donut oil.
Correct.
That's strong.
We go healthy here in Philly.
Jackson says Kauffman Stadium. I saw one for Chase Field. So that's you, Eric. Give me the best part of Chase Field.
The best part of Chase Field?
Yeah, or food. Talk to us about the ballpark. You're representing the Diamondbacks today. Did you know that?
I'd say one of the coolest things about Chase Field is when they open the panels. And you got the roof open.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, you see the sun setting off in the Arizona distance, the desert landscape. That's a pretty special place. The greatest ballparks of all time, though, make no mistake about it, are Old Yankee Stadium,
Yes.
Fenway Park,
Yes.
Wrigley Field.
Yes.
Those were my top three, and nobody even came close.
Diving stop by Santana.
A big man can't move, huh?
He's had a couple of them this year.
Think fast.
And you're not expecting that from a righty. That ball slicing away from you. Good reaction time.
I mean, that's some skills right there.
Quick for a catcher, huh?
Took a big bite out of his glove after making the play, and I saw him with a little glove conditioner yesterday. He has a very strong relationship with his glove.
You ever see someone use Lexol on their glove or mitt in between innings? He was spraying the heck out of it and rub it in there. I've never seen that.
No, you know what I used to do, though? I had a little issue with the ball popping out of my glove. So I'd take the Stickum spray that you would spray on your bat, and I'd spray it in my glove.
Sprayed in the Bassmaster. The glove you wore was enormous.
The salmon.
The floppy salmon.
What's the name of my glove? Oh, baby.
Did you name your gloves?
No, Jermaine Dye ended up naming my glove. He got me a new glove. It showed up. It said the Salmon on it because he nicknamed it the Salmon. And guess what was in it?
Not a salmon.
A salmon. Oh. He got it from me in Seattle. Thank you, Jermaine. Still have it.
Well, the reason it looked like a fish on a dry dock. When you would run, you held it off your hand so much it would just flop, like literally just flop back and forth.
Oh, dude, there's nothing pretty about my game. Zero. Somehow tricked him though.
3 plate appearances for Cook. 3 times he has brought it to a full count.
Yeah, he looks pretty hitterish.
9 pitch at bat. Next one was a 6 pitch walk. And this one is drilled to center field for a base hit. Matt Cook can swing it. His first career hit on the 7th pitch of the at bat.
See, this is when you kind of make a little bit of an adjustment, and you see where they're playing them,
right.
And you still see Rhys Hoskins way in left field and over. Well, check this out. We've had an opportunity to watch Matt Cook swing the bat all day. You got to wake up and understand this is not your normal left-handed pitcher or left-handed swing pitcher that's up there. And you're expected to flay a ball the other way. I mean, he's been taking some monster hacks. Congratulations on that first hit.
That's 98 miles an hour. No problem. Left it up. Hutchison had retired 7 in a row. Now up against David Peralta. 2 hits in 3 plate appearances, including that 2-run home run back in the 3rd. And that was off Hutchison. John asked, can the Phillies come back in this game?
They're going to have to start soon if they do. I think Cook has looked real good on the mound today. They did get 1 back, but they're going to have their work cut out for him. Nice play by Knapp.
And John, I don't want to be Debbie Downer, but the Diamondbacks have the best bullpen ERA in Major League Baseball this season. And we have not seen Archie Bradley or Brad Boxberger, their closer and their best reliever, so far in the series.
And Torey Lovullo said that Archie Bradley will pitch at some point today, regardless of the score.
So that does not help John's question, because I believe he's a Phillies fan.
Like I said, they're going to have their work cut out for them, that bullpen.
In this ballpark, though, during the day, anything's possible.
Tyler, been to 4 parks, several minor league parks. Citizens Bank, best food, and it's home. We've had some tough weather, especially on the East Coast, although I should say in the Midwest, probably even worse. So this is a welcome sight. Nice day for baseball to finish up the series between 2 of the best teams in the National League. Cook's running, and that's ball 4 to Peralta. And now Gerard Dyson up next.
You mentioned that Peralta was 2 for his last 16, Scott. And he's gone out there and just laid out bullets.
I feel like I'm still getting punished for pointing out how he did in his past 4 games.
Well, I think it's our responsibility to go ahead and celebrate the man for the season that he's had, which has been terrific.
Someone wants to know if you can still flip. Can you do a flip? And that's going to drop into left field. It's a base hit for Gerard Dyson. Everyone moving up 1 base, and it looks like maybe caught at second is Peralta, and he's out. He's off the bat. A little too aggressive. And the Phillies get out of a big jam. It would have been bags full with Paul Goldschmidt stepping up. Mental mistake by David Peralta.
Boys and girls, this is why you hit the cutoff man. Heads up play here by Michael. I think Peralta just assumed that Cook was going to be sent and he was going to go to third. Well, once he sees Michael cut it, he gets caught in no man's land. Heads up play by Michael. Cesar keeping the tag on Peralta.
Woo. Is that close?
Too late. Everyone's off the field. Diamondbacks 8, Phillies 1. MLB Live on Facebook Watch. Hello, everyone. Scott Braun, Eric Burns.
Names you did circle between Clayton Kershaw, Dallas Keuchel, Cody Allen, Adam Jones. I mean, look at that. And then, of course, Josh Donaldson. Whew, do you imagine what Josh Donaldson could do in this ballpark?
Yeah, I do. But again, can he stay on the field? I just, I shy away from Kershaw. I shy away from Miller. How many bullets do they have left? That's the way I'm looking at it.
That's a good point.
And they're good. The price tag for those guys that, Miller's obviously a relief pitcher, so but he can pitch consecutive days. Yeah, one guy there that's only going to play every 5th day in Kershaw. So I like playing GM.
It's fun, right?
Hey, when it's not my money, it's great.
You play owner. Phillies owner John Middleton with those words back in spring training, talking about how they were going after Jake Arrieta. They had their sights set on him, and it took a while in the offseason, but it came together, and look out for next year.
Been very open about it. Obviously, they have the means to do so. And John wants to win. And it all starts with him. Obviously, David Montgomery, the ownership group, the Bucks, they do such a wonderful job with this ball club. They do so much in the community. But make no bones about it, John Middleton wants to win. And he wants to win soon.
So far, so good. His team is 15-8 on the young season. 2nd place in the National League East. Cook against 7, 8, and 9. Franco, Hutchison, or a pinch hitter. Right now it's Hutchison on deck. And then Crawford. Woo. And that is hit into left field. It's smoked by Michael Franco for a base hit.
He lined out his first at bat, and Michael's starting to get it.
Yeah.
They're just trying to get him. How many times you heard, Eric, less is more, less is more. They're just telling him, breathe at home plate. It doesn't have to be so hard. We're seeing the swing start to not be as violent, and we're starting to see the results in more base hits.
You know what's crazy is that there was a phrase that I used to always live by when I played, and it was 80 will get you 100, 80 will get you 100. And I would have to repeat that to myself, because what happens is when you're up there, especially when you're sort of an aggressive dude, and you're trying to swing it 100%, you're actually losing power because your muscles are becoming tense.
Right.
If you could swing it at that 80% level, and you let that bat whip through the zone, I always had more success when I was hovering at that 80 as opposed to 100.
Without a doubt.
The base on balls for Drew Hutchison back in the third, so he gets another plate appearance.
You just want to take the big muscles out of it. You do. How many times have you gotten beat and you end up getting to a ball and you're like, you hit it the other way for a knock and you're like, how did I do that? Because it was just reactionary. It was instinct, and you used your quick muscles.
The furthest ball I ever hit was a sinker down and in against Adam Eaton. I believe it was against the Phillies. It was at Chase Field. And I just sort of dropped the head of the bat to the ball. I wasn't sure if this ball was going to get out or not. And it ended up in some dude's French fries and TGI Fridays.
Nice. That is a big one.
1-2, Hutchison through the whole right side. It's past Owings. 2 plate appearances, and he's reached base both times.
I'm not counting the Phillies out like you dudes did. I think in a day game,
Drew Hutchison,
this
3 for
ballpark,
8 in his career.
Look out.
I'm not counting them out. I'm just saying it's going to be really, really hard.
No, I think you put a pretty good perspective on it, like the realistic perspective.
Right.
And like we said, Debbie Downer to my left over here, he went ahead and wiped him off the board. He might as well have said, let's wrap up this broadcast and go home.
I pretty much just said that the Diamondbacks have the best bullpen, just providing the facts.
We appreciate facts here.
J.P. Crawford in tight. It's 1-0. Some responses on our little circle game, looking for free agents for the Phillies and for the Diamondbacks. Dan said, not feeling Josh Donaldson for Philadelphia. He said, old and injured. It's fair. He is hurt right now. Crawford on the ground. This could be 2. And it is. The Diamondbacks do it so well, especially on the right side of the infield. And J.P. Crawford bouncing into a double play for the 2nd consecutive time.
Yeah, this team defensively is mono.
Pitching and defense.
93 games last year. Like, let's digest that for a second. I mean, the Dodgers have dominated the West for so long, but that 93 wins will usually win you a division, right? Now we talk about the Diamondbacks. I think they're just as good, if not better, this year than they were last season. So what does that tell me? The Dodgers are going to have to start playing a lot better baseball if they want to keep defending that NL West crown.
Don't look past the Rockies.
True. Agreed.
My first 2 years in Seattle, Eric, we won 93, I believe, 93 and 92 games did not make the playoffs because of our rivals to the south.
The Athletics. Yeah, that was a crazy time. I mean, the same thing, what was it, 2001 when Seattle won 116? So we ended up winning 102 games, I think, and we're the wild card team.
And guess what? The Mariners won their first 9 series. If the Diamondbacks complete the W today, they'll have won their first 8 series. Last team to do that, 0-1 Mariners. So thank you.
Wow.
I talked about this on a radio show yesterday, Ben. I think the trademark of a great team are winning series.
Yes, absolutely.
Win the series, win the series, win the series. So here we are with the Diamondbacks, and we're, what, 9 series into this, Scott? And they're looking at winning all 9?
Well, this would be 8.
Pretty incredible.
This would be 8.
Okay.
But they're well on their way right now.
Apologize for shortening.
Burns 07, 1 for the books. That's right. That was a big year for you. Hernandez on the ground to Goldschmidt. And he'll give it to Cook to retire the side.
Just like that.
So we've completed 5 innings, and coming up, Patrick Corbin will join us very soon on MLB Live on Facebook. Watch, get those comments and questions in right now for Patrick, because he is the National League Player of the Week. A 1.89 ERA this season, 48 strikeouts. in 33 1/3. He was close to a no-hitter against the San Francisco Giants. Just a Brandon Belt check swing to the left side. Otherwise, he could have had it. Patrick Corbin joining us live on the
he's created. Talk to me about what it's meant to have him come in and what he's meant to all of you guys in the clubhouse.
Yeah, he's been awesome. I mean, it's since day one. I mean, he just came in with the mindset of winning, building a family, building trust. He used the word love a lot last year. Just enjoying everybody's company, having a great time on and off the field. He tries to learn your family. Just the little things that maybe some people don't like to pay attention to. He did a great job with it. It's just fun to play for. You want to play hard for him, work hard, and guys have been doing that.
Goldschmidt, Pollock, and Descalso here in the Diamondbacks portion of the 6th inning. Patrick Corbin talking to us on MLB Live on Facebook Watch, and I'll start floating some questions at you. DeRing said, favorite music?
I'm kind of all over on that. I like country, I'd say, Florida Georgia Line or something like that.
Domingo wants to know the best prank you've seen in the clubhouse, because earlier we were talking about pranks and we showed Kyle Kendrick being told that his contract was sold to what, a Japanese team? Was it? Yes, a Japanese team. Mm-hmm. Did you see that one, and what's your favorite?
Yeah, that one's really good. We used to have someone used to take a bite out of every donut before we got to the field. So that was kind of funny. So everybody couldn't have one, but I'm sure. I mean, there are always some. I mean, I try to mess around here and there, but you got to have fun.
Many fans asking about the slider. They want to know if you tweaked it at all. Do you throw different versions of it? What went into the decision to throw it even more?
Yeah, the grip I got from my dad when I was young, and something I've always continued to throw, and just being able to take some speed off of it, get a little different look for the hitters, just keeping them off balance, but being able to throw it for a strike when I'm behind in the count, and then being able to bury it with 2 strikes. So it's a pitch I've always had.
After the Goldschmidt strikeout, an outstanding play by Aaron Altair, getting Eric Burns excited.
Absolutely.
Talking to Patrick Corbin, Josh wants to know if you had the chance to bring your dog to the park. Is that ringing a bell, or is he out in left field?
My dog?
Yes.
Yeah, he hasn't been in the field yet, but he's getting big. I think he's about 50 pounds now. He's only 5 months old, so German Shepherd, but he's awesome.
Patrick Corbin with us on MLB Live on Facebook Watch, and you have many talents. Actually, you and I spoke earlier this week about, we had a conversation about your participation in the Pro-Am golf tournament out in Arizona, the Phoenix Open. But I also learned between then and now about your skills on the basketball court. We'll show it when we get a chance. So how good were you at basketball? We'll show it after the pitch. I think we have a dunk coming our way from Instagram.
Oh, way to ruin it, Scott. I was
What,
excited
what else
about
did you think it was going to be? A three-point shot? Here it is. We're showing it right now, Patrick. Wow. Hello.
Easy, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was. I played 1 year of college basketball back in upstate New York. Something I always loved doing was after school, you just come home and shoot hoops with the friends, and something I do miss now, but love watching basketball, loved playing it, and it was one of my favorite sports.
Hey, Patrick, growing up, you also played Pop Warner football. How important is it, do you think, for kids today to play multiple sports?
I think it's huge. Just I credit to be able to repeat my delivery, be able to feel my position. It's been huge to at least vary that, play some other sports, maybe not throw all season long and put all that wear and tear on your arm. Plus, you learn to do different things. And anytime I talk to a kid, I recommend to play as many sports as you can.
Daniel Descalso goes down a 1-2-3 inning. Patrick, thank you so much for the time, all right?
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks, Patrick.
Thanks.
Patrick Corbin, reigning National League Player of the Week, and he's been a star for the Diamondbacks so far this season. We are through 5.5. Huge acquisition for them, and Jake Lamb now has been out for a while. I think he's coming back somewhat soon, and he's a star third baseman.
It would not surprise me one bit. It really would not.
No, it seems has all the potential in the world. And like you said, Scott, look, they've struggled offensively outside of Goldschmidt and outside of A.J. Pollock, but if you're able to get Sousa back, if you're able to get Lamb back, man, this team could be the best team in the National League.
So, Eric, as much as I love you, we're going to let you go for a half an inning. So everyone that's been asking Eric questions on Facebook throughout the game, he's not even going to talk for this half inning. Get after it with Eric Burns. Whatever you want to know about his Diamondbacks life, about this game, about the team, he is going to be firing away in the comments section in the next minute or so for the whole half inning.
I just saw a surge of thumbs up coming after you said Burns is not going to talk for a half inning. Good night.
No, they're very excited because they want to talk to you. Glass half full. Eric Burns on the comment section right now, so get after it and he'll respond. So just Scott Braun and Ben Davis with you for a half frame.
You do think about these teams that get to the playoffs and how they're winning ball games in the playoffs. They're expecting the starter maybe go 4 or 5 innings, maybe 5. But you look at Friday night's box score. You had Robbie Ray who started. He only went 4 2/3. His ERA 5.13. Then he had Salas, Chafin, Hirano, De La Rosa, and McFarland come in the game. Their ERAs respectively: 1.84, 1.35, 1.74, 1.13, 1.93.
This was Tuesday's first game of
Correct.
the series.
Yep. That's unheard of. When you're talking about bullpen ERAs, it's unheard of. So that's why I think they could make a serious run at a World Series.
And they suffered a blow. Taijuan Walker goes down about a week ago. Tommy John surgery. He's out for the rest of the season. But there's enough in that starting rotation. And hey, so far so good from Cook for Arizona. Holding the Phillies to just 1 run. And that's Santana skying it foul. It looks like we could have Yaxel Rios in the next inning for the Phils.
Yeah, Cook's been good today. Fairly efficient. Able to throw all his pitches, both sides of the plate. Backdoor cutter. I mean, how do you not give up on that pitch? It's filthy. You see it out of the hand, that's ball away. Comes back. Good pitch.
His 4th strikeout. And his 81st pitch. 2nd start of the season for Matt Cook. Last week against San Diego, 1 run over 6 innings, battling against Tyson Ross, who was carrying a no-hitter for the Padres into the 8th. And a breaking ball for a strike to Odubel Herrera. And you never know what you're going to get from Cook on first pitch.
Right.
He is not setting up fastball to go with breaking ball or secondary pitch later on.
Not even with an 8-1 lead in the 6th.
Herrera, hard hit, and it's past Owings. That's a knock for Odubel Herrera, and his on-base streak continues at 26 consecutive games going back to last year. Longest active streak in baseball.
I'm amazed that we talk about his hand-eye coordination, but Odubel will hit some of the hardest ground balls. I know that sounds funny, but his ground balls really pick up spin as they go through the infield. I mean, that one, he's out in front, but he's still able, it gains pace as it exits the infield.
And that was hit off the bat 109 miles per hour. So it's a hard hit ball from Odubel Herrera, and we've seen plenty of them over the past few seasons.
Yeah.
This guy can do some damage too. A double in his first at bat. Bounced out to third back in the 4th. Rhys Hoskins with Herrera on first. Even his check swings have serious exit velocity.
That's right.
Including today, he's reached base safely in 22 of 23 starts. Major league leader in on-base percentage.
Yeah. He's only had the 1 day off.
This is when I love to watch Hoskins.
Yeah.
2 strikes against him, because most power hitters approach this situation differently.
I would say that Rhys is a hitter first and a power hitter second, because if you watch him, the 3-1 double that he hit in the first inning, the approach is not going to change here down 1-2.
This is an overall theme with the Phillies, the amount of pitches that they've taken this year.
Yes. It's a war of attrition.
And there's your full count.
Yep. And Rhys has said that this is something that it's not just new since he's been in the big leagues, hitting with 2 strikes. He said, I've always felt confident in my approach down in the count. Has a lot to do with the fact that there's no rush. There's no, I have to at home plate. It's, I'm going to let it happen.
3-2. Sky. We'll see if it stays playable for Avila. No, not even close. So we'll do another 3-2, and Hoskins reaches base about 41% of the time this season with 2 strikes.
Yeah.
That's unheard of.
Yes, it is.
I mean, you look at 2-strike batting averages, on-base slugging. I mean, the batting average and the on-base, I think league average is in the 100s, and the slugging's in the 200s. And then there's Hoskins.
I mean, he's had his share of strikeouts this season, much like a lot of the Phillies have had their share of strikeouts. But he will work. He will continue. We hear Gabe Kapler say, these guys are grinding. They're grinding. They're grinding. He will grind you in that bat.
There's the 2 strike on base. 248 is league average this season. He's at 414. .90 pitches from Cook. And now 8th pitch of the at-bat to Hoskins. Hard earned, ball 4.
But that's a borderline pitch, and you just see there's no panic. There's just no panic.
Well, that's what Gabe Kapler preaches. If it's not your pitch, watch it. And if it's a strikeout, we'll deal with it. So now Altair. And you spoke to Aaron recently. What did you talk about?
Well, talked about the other day about he had a big bases loaded double the other night. And I asked him yesterday, I said, you're down 0-2 against Robbie Ray, a guy who put you away. Robbie Ray goes fastball away, misses, fastball away, misses, both up and away. I said, were you at that point sitting on a breaking ball? He said, I wasn't sitting on it because you can never sit breaking ball and react to a fastball. It's impossible. But he said, it was in the back of my mind that he might throw it. And he got a breaking ball for Robbie Ray, stayed inside it and hit it to right center and scored 2 runs for the Phillies. And that's just a part of the maturation process of some of these hitters. You see De La Rosa start to get loose in the bullpen. But he just, he gets it. And he doesn't try and do too much. There's a hanger there off Frankie. Oh, way out of here.
Frankie loves that slider, and Altair said after the game he was thinking off speed. And he guessed correctly. Gabe Kapler said after the game Altair could smell that home run.
Yeah. He's a heck of a card player, too.
Cap is?
No.
Oh,
Aaron Altair. We played last year on the train coming back from New York, and I don't think I won one hand. Like, literally did not win one hand. I said, come on with the cards you're getting. He goes, I've never gotten them like this. It was... A Tigers fan is not very happy.
He's very lost. Detroit's that way. Aaron Altair went to high school in Arizona. Scott Kingery not playing today, but also from Arizona, and that's a tip. And it's 0-2.
Two guys going after it. That Phillies fan was not going to let go of his beer.
And that gets away from Avila, so moving up 90 feet is Herrera.
Intentional grounding. Man, that was a short one. I give Avila credit for just keeping it in front. I mean, this is a really short one. See that ball bouncing way out in front of the batter's box. Good read by Odubel.
Wild pitch. Hoskins stays at first. Cook's 1-2 pitch. Little squibber for Owings. It's going to bring in a run. And the Phillies have 2 RBI ground out. Aaron Altair with his 17th run driven in on the season. 10 hits on the season, 17 RBIs. Phillies down by 6.
Man can sniff out a ribby right now.
8 runs batted in his last 5. And now Andrew Knapp. And the pitch gets past Vila, and moving to third is Hoskins.
There was no one covering home.
He was getting excited.
That would have been a fun race to see if Reese could have beaten Avila or Cook to home plate. See, Avila goes after it, then he sees, and he's, you know what, I got to go get this baseball. And if Reese started running right there's no way Avila could have gotten back to home plate.
So Hoskins on third. That's Yaxel Rios. Coming soon. Knapp looking for his first hit today. This could be the last batter that Cook faces. Jorge De La Rosa getting warm in the Arizona bullpen.
To a changeup.
You never know what you're going to get from
Good
Cook.
pitch.
There's De La Rosa, the veteran, longtime Colorado Rocky, 37 years old.
He might be getting loose for Nick Williams if Nick Williams were to pinch hit. The inning progresses.
We saw De La Rosa Tuesday toss a scoreless inning.
Although I doubt they would bring him in to face Franco, but Michael has hit 2 bullets off Cook today. Maybe give him a different look.
Phillies trying to claw their way back. Preston, glad they let Cook stay in this long. Many pitchers getting pulled after 70 these days. It's true. Yesterday, Jake Arrieta went 107 tosses. Gabe Kapler let him go, and we spoke to Gabe about it this morning. He said never a doubt in his mind that he would take out Jake until that point in the game.
His stuff stayed consistent, and the contact was weak contact.
3-2 to Knapp. Softly back to Cook. And Matt Cook completes 6 innings against the Phillies, allowing just 2 runs. That'll probably do it for his day. The Phillies do get one. Odubel Herrera with the base hit, brought in by the Aaron Altair RBI ground out.
You want anything else, right?
There in that corner, you could see it, because when you're coming in, you don't look at all the space that you have once you pass that little corner right there. But obviously the smart thing is to go in feet first and slide and make the play.
We back the Cap. Approval ratings off the charts. I think they should redo the home opener and give him a big round of applause. This is Yaxel Rios, his second season in Major League Baseball, 24 years old.
Why are you guys not concerned about my chat session that just took place?
I was just introducing everyone to the inning as we've reached the top of the 7th. Arizona 8, Philadelphia 2.
Eric, how was your chat session?
Very uneventful.
Uneventful. You didn't get any good questions? In the air, right field, Altair, 1 down.
No, there were a couple. Nice communication. Diamondbacks fans. I think Tim back here, who was filtering the questions, I think there was way too much filtering going on.
Too much filtering. Okay, well, you can handle the rest on your own time.
Well, he just floated them to me.
He's there to help you.
Hey, you got to give it all. The good and the bad. You got to understand, right, Scott?
To an extent.
No, man. We want all the feedback, just like Kapler. Kapler said, hey, if I'm not doing my job correctly, I need to be able to go back and look myself in the mirror, because if you're not happy, same thing. On this broadcast, if people aren't happy with Scott Braun, Ben Davis, and Eric Burns, we need to get it. Bring it.
Be accountable, right?
Adjustments need to be made, Ben. And I think it might start with the guy to my left.
Me?
Well, I don't think it's Ben or I.
The only adjustment I'm looking at is a different catcher, Jorge Alfaro, now catching for Yaxel Rios.
El Oso, the bear.
El Oso.
I want to see someone try and run off him.
Well, we got two. I mean, we have El Oso Blanco, Evan Gaddis, the white bear, out there in Houston.
Alfaro struggling at the plate. They've been giving him some time to work with hitting coach John Maley.
How is he behind the dish?
He's gotten a lot better. Last season when he came up from the Lehigh Valley, there was a lot of movement behind home plate. And they said they just wanted to get him a little lower to the ground. He's definitely gotten more flexible. A little lower to the ground, a little more stable target behind the dish. And he's done that. He's presented the ball nicely to the umpires. Blocking the ball well, and his throwing has come a long way.
Hitting wise, what do you see from Alfaro?
Too hard. It's too hard. He needs to just kind of, much like Maikel Franco, take your foot off the gas a little bit.
I had an epic collision with this dude about 3 days before my last Major League game.
Really?
Oh. One for the ages.
With Avila you're talking about? Yeah.
Go ahead and... Ooh.
I used to take the brunt of those, and I did not like them. I only did it once to an opposing catcher. It was in Oakland off Ramon Hernandez. And it was, I had no option. Icho hit a ball off right field fence, and I had two speeds. I had slow and stop. And Icho got a triple. I'm rounding third, and I'm telling you, the third base line was going uphill to home plate. And I got there, and I had nothing left. And Ramon took the plate away, and I ran him over. Moni falls back, hits Joe West. It was like a pyramid,
the
domino effect, and they all went down, and Ramon dropped the ball, and we got the run. That's the only time I ever ran over another catcher.
I think Major League Baseball has done the right thing by doing everything they can to eliminate the collision at home plate.
Avila watches strike 3. Good stuff from Rios, and he's been a star out of the bullpen for the Phillies.
I think Avila not very happy about that.
No.
I think that ball was away.
John Tumpain has been pretty good today.
Nah, this is way outside.
A little wide.
A little wide.
Ben would frame that up.
I know that benefited the Phillies, but I think whether Diamondbacks, I think that pitch needs to be called, period. It needs to be called. Just That's really the only way you can speed the game up. They can enforce whatever rules you want, Eric. Whatever foot. Keep your foot in the batter's box. Don't adjust your batting gloves. It's not going to work. These guys are going to do whatever they want. But until you start to open up that strike zone, you're going to have the pace of play that we have. The other rules are just not going to be enforced. They're not.
I love the timeout rule.
I haven't seen really. Now it's almost like they're scared to use them, the mound visits.
That's the beauty of it. Less of the catcher having a coffee talk back in the first inning that we used to see. Save it for later. 97 from Rios, blows it by Ahmed, and a 1-2-3 seventh for the Phillies reliever. Who's hungry? Let's stretch.
Because the Old Bay seasoning is a crab seasoning, so they call them crab fries.
You just ruined his day.
I thought they were crab.
You can invent your own crab fries with crab included. So, Diamondbacks fans, if you're unaware of this food, you should get to Citizens Bank Park for a trip next time the Diamondbacks visit the Phillies. We have one young Diamondbacks fan watching on Facebook today that contributed this.
Lego D-Bucks. Lego D-Bucks. Lego D-Bucks. Lego D-Bucks. Yo, Lego D-Bucks.
Hey, Vern. Well done. I think that was his first words years back. Let's go D-backs. Would you try and teach your kid that as your first words? Did you have a child when you were playing? Was a child born when you were playing?
Yeah.
In your family?
We had three when I was still playing, a fourth since. But
so would you say, for example, to your kid, say Padres, say Padres?
Well, I wasn't in the big leagues at the time, but I wouldn't say I had necessarily a word in particular that I wanted them to say.
Well done, Vern. We'll take your videos. We'll show a few of them throughout the broadcast. Post them on the Diamondbacks fan page if you're a D-backs fan, or on the Phillies fan page if you're a Phils fan. Also, we'll take your pictures. Hashtag ARI PHI. Hashtag ARI PHI on Facebook or on Instagram. You need to use the hashtag, and we'll throw a few of them on there. Where are you watching the game? Yes, I want to see. Selfies preferred on Instagram. There's your hashtag. I mean, we've had people watching all over the globe, on islands, at the beach, in the middle of the ocean, on their yacht. If you're watching from a cool spot, or just your regular cave, let's check it out. It's 1-2 to Maikel Franco. 7, 8, and 9 due up for the Phillies.
Yeah, that's obviously the coolest thing about this Facebook game, or the Facebook game that we've been broadcasting, is that you can get it anywhere you get Wi-Fi.
1-2 skied, center, Pollock. 3 steps in, camps under it for the first out.
So if there are any kids watching at home, don't always get too wrapped up in the result. There's a perfect swing there by Michael. He just hit the bottom of it. How many times are you right on a pitch and you just maybe just catch the bottom of it? That's what I tell youngsters. Don't get so caught up just because you got a hit or didn't get a hit. If the swing is there, the hits will come.
He's taking some good hacks.
He has. He's looked really good today.
Now Jorge Alfaro's turn. His first at-bat today. .94 from De La Rosa. This is how we get it done back in the booth for ARI PHI. That's an action shot right there. I'm about to ask you a hard-hitting question. An unfiltered question, Eric. We'll also be on Instagram Live at Scott Braun after the game for a little post-game. Any questions you have that we don't get to. So if you feel like we're ignoring you, we're not. We'll get to the rest afterward.
I actually was able to catch the first game that you guys did. I believe it was in New York, City Field, with Cliff Floyd and John Kruk. I watched you guys while I was in the sauna.
There goes Alfaro's bat.
Thankfully, that did not hit a soul.
No, it went into the row that had nobody sitting there on the first bounce.
Look at all the pie tar, one boy right there.
Oh, is that ketchup?
Oh, he's got pie tar.
Wow.
He kept his head down nicely.
Swing hard in case you hit it, folks. Yeah.
That's just.
Well, I mean, he had a little pushing for the cushion to brace the impact. I think that helped him as well.
Spill any cheese fries on you? No. Any beer? No. I got pine tar all over me today.
Honey, I got us a bat.
Epic.
Use the hashtag. I see that picture. And Alfaro, who has struck out about half the time so far this season, goes down with that same result.
That's frustrating because that's probably a ball that's just off the plate.
Although I think everything's off the plate today.
It's not where Avila was set up, but
that's not about thinking everything's off the plate, Scott. I mean, look, when balls are off the plate, they're off the plate.
Okay, let's see. Ben?
Ball's off the plate.
I thought it was a good pitch.
Oh, Ben says that because he was a catcher, though. I mean, it was framed nicely.
Get me over. Curveball from Jorge De La Rosa to J.P. Crawford. Adam said, Ben, Eric, you guys are calling a heck of a ball game.
Thank you, Adam.
I think he sent that when Eric was doing the comments, though, so he wasn't actually talking.
Eric, that wasn't nice.
Well, the only reason why I was happy to do the comments is you guys realize there's no commercial breaks here, and also my first time to go ahead and use the restroom.
Well, that's had something to do with your 47 cups of coffee.
It's only 4, Ben.
Coffee is a diuretic.
Oh.
I thought I drank a lot of coffee.
It's my ADD medicine.
Two balls and a strike to J.P. Crawford. Phillies scored back in the 6th. It was Alter's RBI groundout. And then you go to the 4th inning, and Alter double to bring home Santana. For the Diamondbacks, all 8 runs in the first 3 innings. Home runs from Dyson, Peralta, and Nick Ahmed with the 3-run shot back in the 3rd. Crawford has hit into 2 double plays. This time it's a strikeout and an 0 for 3 day. to finish off the 7th inning.
They're close. I'm just not sure if they're all there. And I like the direction they're going. I love Kapler. I just think that I think it's going to take a lot in the East. I think the wild cards get both wild cards most likely will either come from the Central or the West. I wouldn't be surprised if we see 3 teams again in the playoffs from the West. So I just think that it's not a knock on them or where they are right now. It's more of a compliment to how deep the National League is this year.
I would say that I like them to make it because I think they're going to be hovering around 500 for a while, and I think they're going to make a move. And I think I'm not sold on the Mets. I am sold on the Nats, but I think the pitch is going to hold up, and I think the offense is going to come around and it's going to start to get hot.
Ben, congratulations. You've won Like It or Leave It, and your prize right now is the chance to talk to everyone on Facebook in the comments section. So we'll see you in a half inning. Questions for Ben Davis. Phillies fans, you watch all season long with him on the broadcast. What do you want to know from Ben about anything, anywhere you want to go? If you have some Phillies questions, don't be shy.
No, don't be giving him any softballs. I had one soft toss after another. Go get them.
It's a very friendly crowd today on the broadcast.
Here's John Ryan Murphy. Now, he came very close last night to hitting a game winner at the end of the game. Deep to left center field. That was caught.
That's right.
Obviously. But it was about 5 feet from.
And he has 2 home runs.
Ahead.
2 home runs this season. Limited time. 240 hitter. 4 extra base hits. 15 pitches from Yaxel Rios so far. And Murphy crushes that pitch. Left field. Hoskins at the warning track.
Oh, he's got to be thinking, what do I got to do?
That looked good off the bat. About 7-8 feet shy for John Ryan Murphy.
You know what's funny is that you wonder what velocity does, and we see, I think that pitch, it says 96 miles per hour right there. But 1 mile per hour or less, I think Murphy gets a barrel to that ball, just a little bit more, that ball's in the seats. So when they say, how important it is to have velocity, well, to a certain extent, velocity gets away with more mistakes than less velocity. I mean, look at this, just missed. Real good job pulling his hands. And you see the run. I mean, it's not only 96 miles per hour, but real good run to go with it. When I talk about run, it'd be running into a right-handed hitter away from a left-handed hitter.
Think about how far that baseball went, and he didn't get barrel on it. That's impressive. It's a strong man. Peralta has a homer back in the 3rd.
Yeah, he went oppo with ease. Just Little flick of the wrist. Out on his front foot on a changeup.
Also a base hit in the first. He walked in the fifth.
Got the average up to 317 now.
He's not the fastest player in the world. Definitely has speed, but he's just been a perfect fit in the leadoff spot for Arizona.
Well, how about this? I mean, his OPS this season, 826. He has a career OPS of 814. I was taught it. Year was 2000. I was in the video office. And, wow. Glad to see your brother show up here today, Scott.
Yeah, well, he's having a bad day. He's missing half his face.
In 2000, I was in the video room of the Oakland A's, sitting with David Forrest, the assistant general manager at the time. And he was looking at this number that he had on a spreadsheet, which was OPS. And this is before anyone was talking about OPS.
On a couple hops, the Phillies are going to turn two. Gerard Dyson bouncing into a double play. That'll sit down the top of the eighth. Keep going. We don't take breaks here. Get after it, man.
So pretty much, he said, hey, look, if you could keep your OPS or get your OPS to an 800 level or better, that's all-star caliber. And so from that point forward, Powder Blues, I'm in. I'm all in. I also like the pinstripes with the big P on there and the maroon. Clean.
It's a really good look, the Powder Blues. Very popular. We see it all over the ballpark today. Throwback Thursday. And you can rock the short sleeves today. We haven't been able to say that much.
You know what I wanted to do when I played for the Diamondbacks, though?
Linda, one night only, all burgundy.
Yeah, we could do that. I dig that.
What'd you say about your Diamondbacks?
Well,
days?
the Diamondbacks. Remember we had the sleeveless unis?
Yes.
I wanted to go sleeveless, and they wouldn't let me onto the field.
So you actually had a sleeveless uniform on in the clubhouse, attempting to go onto the field, and they stopped you? Just want to clarify this. And
Yeah.
Ben Davis is back, by the way.
Yeah, I was going raw.
You going Ted Kluszewski? Back with the Reds?
Really?
Did he go sleeveless?
They weren't completely sleeveless, but he showed them off. Oh yeah, back in the day.
Yeah. Well, I tried to go out there, and I was scuffling. And I needed to change it up somehow, so I'm like, you know what? I'm going no undershirt today. Halfway out the tunnel, and all of a sudden it's like, I thought it was Gonzo or someone grabbed me. Maybe Roger Riley, head clubhouse guy. Dude, Burns, you can't go out there like that. Like, come on, man. I'm due for my last 26. I need something.
That was not the last time, Ben, that he was turned down for his wardrobe and turned away. You could take that and run with it wherever you want to go.
Including today.
That's right. Cesar Hernandez, Carlos Santana, and Odubel Herrera. We're back to the top of the order for the Phillies. Last of the 8th, and it's TJ McFarland. New pitcher on the mound for Arizona. Left-hander out of Chicago, Illinois.
You know, my dad always taught me it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. I think it's very applicable.
I learned the reverse.
Oh.
Now, would you have gone just straight vest? No, how about undershirt with sleeves cut off, or
No.
just straight jersey?
No. No undershirt. Zero.
You a little raw under there?
I mean, a couple Band-Aids on the nipples and ready to go.
There you have it.
Eric Burns, everyone. Full count to Cesar Hernandez. He struck out twice today. Entering this game, .431 on base percentage. Last year at .361. And that's going to drop into left center for a base hit. Leadoff man Cesar Hernandez reaches for the Phillies in the last of the 8th. And we go to Alexa Dat.
Yeah, Scott, a lot of ball players have experienced ups and downs throughout their career. I was talking to Gerard Dyson about some of the lower points, unfortunately, and he was talking about some of the loss that he's experienced throughout his baseball career. And he was going through some of the names, and he said, you know, one way that I want to memorialize people that I've lost in my life is by embroidering their name in gold on my glove. He says, I carry them with me while I play, and it really reminds me every day to go out there and play for the people who no longer can be here. He's got his dad, his uncle, and he is going to add Cheryl Quinn, his godmother, who he lost this spring, who he calls Cherry, to his glove in the near future. He says it's a way for him to keep the people with him that have meant so much to him.
Thanks, Alexa. I love that. And I'm sure he makes them proud, too, because he's one of the best defenders in the game.
It's pretty cool.
There it is.
Definitely will give you some perspective, right?
Yeah.
Look down at that glove. You're 0 for 4 and
Realize it's just a game.
Thinking the world's crashing in on you. That's the one thing, if I were to go back, that I would change is you think you literally live and die with every at bat, with every play in the field, with every game, and the grand perspective of things, just like you said, Ben, it's a freaking game.
I forget who said it. They said, if you live and die with every at bat, you're going to be dead a lot. I mean,
Truth.
1-1 from Santana, ripped left field, foul. Watching pretty much every inning of the Phillies over the past week, Ben, I see Altair and Santana squaring up just about everything.
they are. They're on it.
That's a great sign, because if you just look at the numbers, the box score, Carlos Santana looks like he's off to a terrible start.
Right.
And we've seen frustration from him.
Yeah. And he's a notorious bad starter. He doesn't come out of the blocks. But he's starting to get it. Things heat up, so does he. He should be used to playing in the cold, being in Cleveland the last so many years.
McFarland spots a fastball low in the zone, and Santana goes down. Where was that one, Eric?
I think it's probably a strike. Go ahead and tell right here. The 5th pitch of the at-bat.
I don't know if he thought that was more down or more in. Take a look here.
Yeah.
It's a strike.
I got as a strike here. Sure.
McFarland got him. And Herrera comes up next.
I had a conversation with John Maley about the strike zone and about how it needs to be opened up. He said, what are you talking about? He said, it's already 23 inches wide. I said, what? He goes, the plate. I said, 23? How do you figure? He goes, the plate's 17 inches wide, and any part of the ball that touches the plate, the ball's 3 inches wide, is a strike. So it's 3 inches on that side, 3 inches on the other side. 23 inches wide.
That's good math. Is he a politician? Hey, Phillies fans that are watching right now, I'm wondering, how excited are you when Carlos Santana finally turns it around to see what this offense looks like? How excited are you to see what the Phillies can do when their prize of the offseason on the position player side heats up? Because you know it's coming. And hello, Alan, his granddaughter representing in Florida. You can watch anywhere. I think that plays to your case, though, Ben, of the Phillies reaching the postseason for the first time since 2011. You look at their start. Santana has not done much as far as results. Their two big signings, relief pitching-wise, one non-existent so far, Pat Neshek recovering from an injury, and Tommy Hunter just came back. So the best still should be yet to come.
Yeah.
Herrera, right side. It gets through for a base hit.
Got to take third.
Cesar Hernandez will stay at second.
You got to take third.
Do you?
Yeah. Hey, you're going to be safe. 100 out of 100 times.
You're down 6.
I don't
Is
care.
it worth the risk? And everyone else let us know,
out.
too. What do you think? Should Cesar Hernandez have taken third base there? I think he's out, possibly. This is a really clean defensive team.
Are you feeling okay?
I'm great.
No.
I mean, I'm hungry, but...
Dyson can throw it, but I would agree with Eric. That's a ball. Dyson has some range to his left. And with Cesar's speed, first of all, look at that secondary lead. That's bad. Bad. I mean, he was basically standing on the bag. He's not being held on.
You got to go. And here's the thing. When you get on first base, first thing you do, check the outfielders. Very first, before you even get your coach, the signs from your coach, you check the outfielders. You know exactly where they are. So when that ball's hitting the hole, you know as a base runner, like you said, Ben, he's going to his left. There's no chance.
Right.
Zero chance, Scott Braun. Zero chance he's getting thrown out of third base.
Just want to make sure.
And I get it, 8-2 game, whatever. But guess what? All of a sudden, he's on third base right now. There's one out.
Right.
I'm more okay with what you're saying with 2 outs. But still, if it's 100 out of 100 times that you're going to be safe at third base, with the exception, maybe we'll call it 99 out of 100 just in case you might trip, Scott, if you're going for it.
But do it for the man at home plate right now. And take a look at his secondary lead. Look at the way Cesar is set up here. Okay, look at look. What is that doing? The ball's being delivered, and he's 3 feet off the bag. If he's taking a normal secondary lead where he's jab, jab, go, he makes it to third base probably standing up.
But with that poor secondary lead, you still would have kept the train running?
I would have.
McFarland's trying to prevent any runs from scoring, right? Should be trying to score runs. Sorry. It is baseball. We know about this great bullpen, but it's baseball, and anything can happen when you have 5 outs left. You have 5 outs left in this game.
Listen to the man, Scotty.
Just think about it. If Reese goes up top here, it's 8-5. Well, you never know.
Well, everyone agrees, and the Phillies have a base hit again. It's Rhys Hoskins coming through and loading up the bag.
So you pick your teammates up, right? Cesar didn't pick his teammate up. That's an RBI for Rhys Hoskins. Because now, in that situation, that run doesn't mean anything. So that's what I'm saying.
Now Hernandez at third. Herrera to second, Hoskins on first, and the hottest hitter for the Phillies, Aaron Altair, will dig in.
The counter perspective, Scott, And I think you got a good point in that, hey, look, you're down 6 runs, right? So your run, in essence, doesn't mean anything. I get it.
You need a lot more than that. You can't afford to lose outs right now.
Correct. But to Ben's point, you got to play the game, though.
Right.
And I think it's one of the things that we stopped doing. And when games are there's a wide spread between scores, is guys stop playing the game. Don't stop playing the game. Play the game. It's as simple as that.
Archie Bradley getting warm in the bullpen for the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, this just got interesting.
Yeah. Just 1 out in the 8th. Phillies trailing by 6. Base hits by Hernandez, Herrera, and Hoskins. And they're loaded for Aaron Altair.
Possibly the Phillies' hottest hitter.
Definitely. He's driven in both runs today. The 3-run home run yesterday was the difference in the W for Philadelphia. Walk-off hit on Sunday.
3 hits on Sunday after coming in as a double switch. He goes 3 for 3 with a game winner. That's a good day.
I do not like this matchup for the Diamondbacks.
So I'll ask this. For everyone watching, would you have taken out TJ McFarland at this point and put in Archie Bradley? Ben is shaking his head yes. I am shaking my head yes.
Yes.
Yep. Tough swing from Altair. It's 1-1. I have to imagine this is going to be a resounding yes. Diamondbacks fans that watch this team on a daily basis. Isn't this the moment that Archie Bradley was made for? This is his role on the team, to put out fires?
Let's just see this play out.
This is it. I've seen an inside the park grand slam with Aaron Altair in Washington
last season.
I remember that.
Yeah. No, it was last season or the season before. Boy, that ball's down.
You think that missed?
It actually caught the zone, according to my MLB at bat.
Well, now you say it's a strike.
The luxury to wait.
The crowd did not like it. 1-2 on the ground left side. Ahmed to Owings to Goldschmidt.
And what do you guys know?
2.
That's why we're up here.
These 3 dummies sitting up here wearing makeup.
It's an easy game up here, I'm telling you.
Trying to pretend like they know something about baseball.
Just like they drew it up.
Torey Lavello's laughing at us. Shut up, dorks. York. And let's go down to Alexa.
Yes. Take it away, Alexa.
Scott, we've been asking a bunch of questions in the comments. One would be, what would your walk-up song be? So we got James Smith, who said anything by Led Zeppelin. Raymond JB said Getting Jiggy With It. Will Smith would be my walk-up song. That's kind of a throwback. Jessica said Ace of Spades by Motorhead. And Adrian Martin said Revolution by the Beatles. There's no song opening more jarring or a better John Lennon scream, which I thought was pretty interesting. And then we asked some people for their bold predictions for the season. Adam Mick said Corbin and Godley 1-2 in the Cy Young race. Now that's bold. Dennis said Phillies surprise everyone, make it to the World Series. And Ray Joseph said Arizona Red Sox like it should have been in 2003. JD will make you pay in Game 7, calling it now.
Wow. Thanks, Alexa. Well, I can tell who's watching the game. Phillies and Diamondbacks fans. It's 8-2 Arizona, and it's Paul Goldschmidt taking strike one. And this is a Duprey Ramos. And we'll take more bold predictions for the next half inning, so throw them out there. We'll look at a few. Oh, Ronald said don't waste Bradley in a 6-run game, but bases were loaded with one out. What are you saving him for? He hasn't pitched in the series yet.
Exactly.
And Ronald, I'll say this because we spoke to Torey Lovullo this morning. He told us he would like to see Archie Bradley in this game just to get him some work because it's been a while.
Yeah, he was going to pitch regardless, is what we were told. So
Steve said Phillies-Orioles in the World Series. Orioles are off to a rough start.
I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen.
That is beyond bold.
A lot of Diamondbacks win the World Series coming in. Devin, Phillies win the NL East. James, Phillies reach playoffs at least. Here's Tyler, Angels Dodgers World Series. Okay, it's possible.
Freeway series.
Dodgers were there last year. Angels are definitely stronger. Goldschmidt with some strength off the bat. And Hoskins will play it on a hop off the wall.
I can watch him hit all day.
Right?
You realize how pretty that is?
Right? I mean, it's...
This makes it look easy.
It's his third hit of the day, his second double, and it leads off the ninth.
You can't hit what you can't see. Look at his head down on that baseball.
Almost 108 miles an hour off the bat, and he'll be replaced at second base by Christian Walker.
You get him off his feet.
Christian Walker, let me give him a little love for a second because I watched him a couple games last year in Reno. I spent my summers up in Lake Tahoe, and this dude had a monster season for the Reno Aces. Well, I talk about Descalso every time I watch him hit, he's getting a knock, feels like. That was the same thing with Christian Walker, except every time I watched him hit, I felt like he was hitting a homer.
Well, Christian Walker grew up in Norristown, Pennsylvania.
Right down the road.
That's right, about 30 minutes away. Same hometown as Tommy Lasorda and Gino Oriyama. Those are good ones. Popular town, that Norristown, Pennsylvania.
Well, there's some incredible names that have come out of Pennsylvania. Well, let's just start with the top of the top, the creme de la creme, Joe Montana.
How did I know you were going there? How did I know that?
Because I have a tendency to bring everything back to me, my childhood, my high school, my college. I don't even think I've drawn the Torey Lovullo, Eric Burns, UCLA connection yet. So let's do that here in the ninth inning.
Why not?
Massage the Bruins for a second.
Let's see if Ramos puts him away with that trademark slider. Uses it 57% of the time.
Yeah, when that's happening, very rarely would I go up looking for slider. But when you told me that a guy threw more sliders or off-speed pitches than he did fastballs, I'm going up looking off-speed, right? When it crossed that 50% threshold, and there's only a handful of guys typically in the game that do that. But when that was the case, Ben, that's what I would do. That was my approach.
You did it because that's the numbers state that, not necessarily because you wanted to hit a slider.
I wanted nothing to do with a slider my entire career.
I remember the scouting reports.
Oh, bro. Yeah, if you realize that if they outlawed sliders, how much better of a player I would have been?
That was your bugaboo?
Yeah, no, I do think they should outlaw it.
Ramos went fastball on that last pitch, 96.
It's kind of like a balk. You're intentionally deceiving. I don't like that.
You would not have been a fan of that guy.
Wow, good play. You want me to send a letter to Mr. Manfred, see if he can outlaw the slider?
No, but we could start with an automated strike zone. I waited 9 innings to bring it up.
Opposing hitters are 1 for 17 off the Ramos slider this year. Gabe Kapler talked to us about it this morning.
Well, Goldschmidt just stuck it in the left center field gap.
True.
Paul Goldschmidt.
Right.
And this is the second best hitter in the lineup, Pollock. 1-2, got him.
That's nasty.
Wow.
Yeah, let's take a look at this.
Late.
I mean, that came out looking like a fastball.
Yeah.
I had to wait for the replay to even tell it was a slider. That's funny because the one he threw to Goldschmidt, more popped out of his hand.
He does throw a curveball as well.
Okay, so
But he'll use the curveball earlier in counts or to get back in counts. If 2-1, he might throw a curveball.
that's what I think Paul Goldschmidt hit, was a curveball. And for those who are watching this, the difference is, and this is why the curveball I felt like I didn't have much issues with, because you could see the curveball coming. You could see it pop out of the hand.
Correct.
And whereas a slider comes out looking like a fastball,
Right.
and then all of a sudden, for the guys that have a good one, 3/4 of the way to the plate, it feels like it's got this nasty break down and away. So you can't tell, you have no idea it's coming at you.
See, I was the other way around because I always had everything coming into me. Being a switch hitter, it was always coming into me. Now you bring up, I didn't fare well against pitches with depth. So your former teammate Barry Zito would throw that big hook, and you would recognize it out of his hand. Boom, there's a curveball because it jumped so far out of his hand. And then, but everything, all these thoughts start going through your mind like, there's no way that ball can possibly come down. There's not enough gravity in the world that can make that pitch come into the strike zone. You give up on it, boom, it's a strike.
Strike.
It was nasty. Nasty.
Yeah, when I faced Zito later in my career, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't that he was hard to hit, it was that he was hard to pull the trigger on.
It just went straight north out of his hand.
ERA for Ramos under 1 this season. So you know how the whole broadcast always revolves around Eric Burns, like he said before, Ben?
As
so,
it should. Go ahead. 2
favorite things for you: Daniel Descalso and the following hairdo. Wait for it. There it is.
What?
Sent in from a fan on the Diamondbacks fan page.
Wow.
Look what was sculpted into the back of his head.
That is sick.
It's awesome. How talented is the barber to do that?
That's
you
insane.
kidding me?
It's incredible.
Props Chacho. Great pick. Pick of the day, easy.
My man, Chacho. I think if I have another kid, I might name him Chacho. I like that. Chacho.
One-two coming from Adubre Ramos.
You want to know the other name I was considering?
What do you got?
Odubel.
I like it.
Except I'd call my kid Odubel.
A lot of people called him that when he first came into the league.
Oh, I still call him that.
On the ground, way back in shallow right field was Hernandez, and has to come forward to make the play. Descalso goes down, and Christian Walker moves on to third. So here's a question from Ryan. He said, I know it's not a safe situation, but would you consider putting in Brad Boxberger here since he hasn't worked in 5 days? That's what we're talking about with Boxberger and with Bradley. What do you think?
If you think he needs work, then absolutely. 5 days is a long time, especially for a closer.
There hits a point where if you don't use a reliever, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Eric, they get rusty. So even if it's not a save situation, even if he gives up a run or two, just to give him the work is important, right?
You got to get out there. There's no way to simulate an actual game. I think that's why you saw Kenley Jansen struggle in the early going with the Dodgers, because he threw 4 innings in spring training, and then you throw him out of the mound and you expect him to be ready to go. Well, look, I mean, there's just, you know, now recently he started throwing the ball great, but we're a month in the season almost.
Well, we had our answer there, though. Bullpen's empty for the Diamondbacks.
Yeah. McFarland's going to finish it.
They're moving on to Washington, D.C. this weekend. Big series against the Nationals for Arizona.
Was I off?
Probably.
That's it.
We just stop there.
Best line of the day.
Did Torey Lovullo not tell us that Archie Bradley was going to pitch today?
Yeah, he said he would like to get Bradley and Boxberger in, but you never know what's going to happen. And it's a free pass for Owings. Second time he's reached today. Avila coming up next. You're saying that McFarland should be sitting at this point, and you get Boxberger and or Bradley in there just based on what he told us.
That's what I thought he said.
Yeah.
That's how I recollect the conversation. But
he said he would like to get them in. It wasn't a guarantee, but I'm with you because they haven't worked for a while. So do Diamondbacks fans have the fear of rust from Bradley or Boxberger heading into a big series in Washington, D.C.?
They don't have the fear of rust until we see him out there giving it up. Then you have the fear of rust.
Right.
So right now, yeah, we don't really know, but it's just like taking at bat so bad. Like you can't go an extended period of time without having an at bat and stay fresh. Like repetitions are what make you good.
Sorry, I just read Joseph saying that he thinks Kapler should go out there and get tossed. Save Kapler for the next game, he said. That's good. He said, fire up the boys. They're 2 for 13 with runners in scoring position.
That's one thing. I used to try and pick Dave Magadan's brain when I was in San Diego, the hitting coach for the Diamondbacks. And I alluded to him earlier. Mags is first of all, one of the nicest guys in the world. But it helped me out as a rookie, you know, coming up. And I'd pick his brain. Like, how do you do it? How do you not see pitches? And then he goes up and Mags is one of those rare guys that could take a first pitch strike off the bench, you know, 9th inning, but it wouldn't phase him. He just wanted to pick up, you know, release point, and he picked that up, and all of a sudden he'd go into what he did best. And Mags was a consummate professional, whereas I'm seeing the first straight thing I can find, and I'm having at it. He said, well, that's not my approach. He trusts his approach obviously a lot more than me. But with pitchers going that long without a bat, or going that long without getting into a ball game, I think there can be some rust there. Even to just get up, little, you know, touch and feel in the bullpen, just a little, you know, get up, maybe just throw 10 pitches. There's Mags. What a great guy. He was that guy, that veteran presence that said, you know, he wasn't like, hey, rookie, do this. Hey, rookie, do that. He was, hey, man, this is good. Stick with doing that. Try and avoid that next time. He was that guy, and that's what I appreciated most about Dave Magadan.
Alex Avila caught looking, and that'll sit down the Diamondbacks in the top of the 9th. Arizona's up 8-2, final 3 outs to spare for the Phillies, unless they can pull off 6 runs here at least. And this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. 6-2 Diamondbacks over the Phillies. So you actually had the Altair double back in the 4th to drive in a run. The RBI ground out in the 6th. That was the double play back in the 8th. No runs scored. So 2 for the Phillies, 8 for Arizona. And you need those today. It's a sunny day. Just a little bit of shadows creeping in the left field corner over towards center. And Scott Kingery is going to step up for the Phillies. We have some changes too defensively.
Now, here's my guy Kingery. I had a chance to watch him play, Ben, at University of Arizona, and there's another prospect, the shortstop, Kevin Newman, that was getting a lot of attention. And I just couldn't take my eyes off of Kingery. I mean, this guy was lights out. And I thought he was every bit the prospect that Newman was. So to see him in the big leagues quickly, and what I feel like he's going to have a ton of success. He had a ton of success in the minor leagues. I love how the Phillies locked him up. It's pretty cool to see when you watch a guy at that level and then see him develop to become the player that he's capable of becoming. Now, he's got ways to go, but I believe in this dude.
Good kid, too.
2 for his last 29. Sends this one high in the air to Gerard Dyson.
And Newman ends up going in the 1st round. Kingery goes in the 2nd round. One of the coaches from the University of Arizona said, you guys got, he told one of our scouts, you guys got the better player. Is that cool? That's cool. I'm not saying nothing against Kevin Newman. I hope he ends up being a Hall of Famer. That would be great. But it's nice that, you know, you just never know. You never know.
John just asked, why is McFarland still there? And I will tell you this, John. Brad Boxberger is throwing in the Diamondbacks bullpen. If that makes you feel any better.
McFarland's done a good job.
Shane said Boxberger has been shaky in non-save situations. Okay. Yeah, big double play. McFarland got the ground ball he needed, and that's what he does best. Back in the 8th inning.
Scott, back in the 8th inning, Murphy flied out. I'm just trying because I was back replying to some.
Oh, true.
So it went F7 on Murphy, and then Peralta.
Yeah, Murphy
in the 8th inning.
Murphy just missed another one.
F7 Murphy. Peralta walks, and then Dyson bounced into the double play. And this is Franco grounding out.
And how'd the double play go down on Dyson? I just like to keep it clean. Score sheet.
Double play on Dyson. 4-6-3. I want it clean. You do it for every game all year for the Phillies?
I do.
That's right.
Not when I'm in the studio. When I do it pre and post, I don't.
Okay. Every game that you call.
And then I'm in the booth, correct.
I like that, Ben. Get out what you put in.
Well, it's nice to go back and look.
I use this app thing, but
you don't even bring a pen. You don't need one, right?
I don't trust myself. Stay focused on a score sheet like that for that long?
No way.
Yeah.
Last chance for the Phillies.
You got some nice handwriting too.
Thank you.
It's beautiful cursive.
Don't look at mine.
13 years of Catholic school.
Don't look. No.
Dude, that is chicken scratch.
That's
What
right.
is that?
As long as I can see it.
You can see it, but can you read it?
As long as I can read it. I try and make it code so only I can read it. That's actually the key.
Okay, I see what you're trying.
You might be a doctor.
Most of my family is. I don't know where I went wrong. It's 1-2 to Alfaro. Okay, so good news. Gerard Dyson scheduled to join us after the game.
Okay.
So we're going to talk to Gerard. I want questions for him right now in the comments section. I'll keep my eye on the game and the comments. Bring them. Dyson with his second home run of this series. Coming soon.
Ooh.
And that is to Dyson. Showing off that glove.
Now
Game over.
Come get the headset on now.
Wow. Gerard Dyson with the putout, and the Diamondbacks take it 8-2 and improve to 17-7 on the season. The Phillies drop to 15-9 on the year. The Diamondbacks win the series. They have won every series so far this season, all 8 that they have participated in, and this guy's been a big part of it.
Eric, that's got to feel good, right? Outfielder helping out your pitcher, diving play like that.
I mean, it feel good. Let's not forget, he's still feeling sexy from banging a ball off the Toyota sign to start the game. Have a day, Dyson. Have a day, Diamondbacks.
That's
this
right.
team's for real. Scott Braun, you better start believing.